Jay Crawford, Adam the Bull, Garrett Bush, and so many big names, it would take me hours to say all of their names. The ultimate Cleveland sports show. Booyah!
Booyah!
And we're just a day from the weekend. Woo! So there's that.
Yeah, heck yeah.
Friday's up right around the corner.
Sneakers. I don't get this whole thing.
I like
It's the kids these days.
Those are fresh. Jay Crawford,
Nice.
Still.
Adam the Bull,
Yeah.
Mike Polk, G. Bush, Jason Lloyd from The Athletic.
Bam. Look
By
at
the way, I have to interrupt. I'm sorry, but I have to interrupt everything because I'm
We
very
didn't get
angry.
started. You're interrupting
It doesn't
me.
matter. I'm very angry
Already.
about something.
Somebody cut him off on his way to
I'm very
work.
angry about something. And I was angry about it yesterday, but because we had a somber note to start the show, I didn't want to. I held it in, but I'm not holding it in any longer. I had an MRI scheduled for Tuesday at 3:45 p.m. I'm not going to say where it was because I don't want to rip the hospital group because usually they do right by me. Tuesday, 3:45 p.m. I walked in the building at 3:47, but then I had to make my way.
So
through
right
the
off
building.
the bat, you're late.
You're late.
2 minutes. I get.
You're late, Bull.
I get there at 3:50. So I'm 5 minutes late. I said,
know
I'm
where
sorry
this
I'm
is.
late, but I'm here for an MRI.
Yep.
She's like, sorry, you're too late. 5 minutes is the limit. They went home.
We put someone else in the tube.
I said, what? No.
No,
They said
not
the
you.
MRI person
Okay,
went home.
I thought you were going to say they made you wait 45
No,
minutes.
that would
which
have
would
been
have been
acceptable.
understandable.
I could have lived with that. But
They went
but
home?
They went home. First of all, what? They don't work a full day? They're
Right.
going home at 3:45?
Yeah.
If you're scheduled to work till 5, you should be working till 5.
Well, they might start their day at 7. A
and
lot of
who
people
does
get
that?
MRIs
5
before
minutes
9.
and you're
yeah,
out of
that
luck?
MRI
5
guy's like,
minutes?
that's
Yeah,
it.
that we're done.
They're standing
It's like
at the door at 3:49.
It was ridiculous.
It's like closing
She's
the
like,
shake
I'll try
machine.
to text them.
You
and
do-
she's like, oh, he's already in his car. I'm like, you just played a whole game on me. What are you talking about?
You do know MRIs take about an hour, so he was like, I'm up out of here.
That's ridiculous. It was 5 freaking minutes.
Here's the thing.
I'm gone.
I would normally feel so badly for you.
Yeah.
You were late.
Wait a second.
You were late.
How about you say to me when I make the appointment, if you're 5 minutes late, they will not take you. Warn me, and then if I don't
Oh,
get
you
there,
need
then
a
it's my
warning for your
Hey,
appointment.
Jay, what did coaches say?
If
Have
you're
you-
not early,
You're late.
Those coaches are generally idiots. Let's be honest. Most
Yeah.
coaches are idiots.
True.
Right? Mike Polk knows this.
Punctuality is a sign of weakness.
Jason's impartial.
Jason,
Who's
sorry.
right, who's wrong? The MRI
Jason.
Oh,
worker
am I
for
Judge
leaving-
Jay today?
Yes,
Yeah.
you
Judge
are.
Jason.
Judge Jason.
Judge Jason.
Does he have a
Jason.
legitimate complaint?
No, he's late.
He's late.
Come on now.
You're
Jason,
late.
you would have been just as annoyed as me.
Don't make
Coming
me
from
get my
someone-
gavel.
Coming from someone who is habitually late?
Yeah.
You were late.
Wouldn't you have been just as annoyed?
Of course.
I was screaming.
We live
if
in a
you heard-
society.
Go
We
ahead,
should
go ahead, yes.
accommodate. We should be accommodated if you're 5 minutes late.
If
or
I was
something.
10, 15 minutes, okay, I get it. 5 minutes?
Everyone relax.
Well, you
right?
said 2
It was
minutes.
5 minutes.
You said 2 minutes. Was
I
it
was
2 or
2
5?
minutes when I walked in the building, but it took me, I didn't realize how far away
So
it
by
was
the
from
time
the
you got to
entrance.
the
always a
desk, it was
labyrinth.
5 minutes.
It was 5 minutes.
Oh, they're well within their rights.
No, that's
They're
ridiculous.
well within their rights.
Ridiculous.
You
And
had
I'm
an
walking back
appointment-
through the hallway, I'm cursing.
Let me ask you
I'm
this.
throwing things.
One thing that will let
Yeah.
you off the hook.
Yeah.
You knew you weren't going to be there on time. Did you phone them at 3:30 and say, I'm running a little late?
I didn't know that I wasn't going to be on time.
How did that-
I didn't. It took me a little longer
You
than I
figured
thought
it's going to
get
be
there.
nip tuck. It's going to be right
I
there.
knew it was going to be right on, but trust me, if they had warned me that 5 minutes you're done, I would have been there.
Y'all supposed to be on time. All
Yeah.
of y'all.
That's true.
Y'all. My cookouts start 4 or 5 hours later. Things, it's
5
an,
minutes is
it's
crazy.
an adjustment
I've been
period.
like, I'm usually on time. I'm the only one that gets here on time.
You
right?
are.
Right, Mike?
But I'll
I'm
say
always
this.
first one here.
I can confirm that Bull is the
I
only
am-
one
I
here
am
on time daily. For
ready
the
to
10
go.
a.m.
I am
meetings.
on
Ready to go.
time.
Bull specialty.
95. And the one time I wasn't here on time, I called Mike or I texted him. and I said I was
I
gonna be here
usually,
a little
like, a couple times I've been in a meeting or on a phone call with my other show.
I am a
and I'll try
generally
to text. I'll try to
on-time
text if I
person.
Sword
can.
fighting.
I'm an
I got
on-time
it.
person. It was a slip because I go to the place I go a lot for my wife, so I know how long it takes me to get there.
Sure.
But because I went a little later in the day than I normally go, it took me like 2 minutes more than it normally takes.
Next
very
time, if
quick.
you phone ahead and say, "Look, I'm just a couple minutes behind, but I'm
I
going
should
to
have
be
done
there,"
that. You're right.
then
I should have done that.
then they're in the wrong.
But screw
They're
them
showing
anyway.
the clock.
There's the clock.
That's them saying, "Shut up, guys."
Yeah,
Yeah, you know what? That's Mikey's way of saying
Start the show,
Smart
bro.
we're
Mike.
late.
Moving on. Moving on.
All right.
Still.
I want to let me adequately tease what we have on today's
Yes,
program
please.
because I think
Big.
this is big, big stuff for the Cleveland sports fan. Jason Lloyd, who is a terrific writer for The Athletic, also a hell of an investigator. because the work that he has done on this Deshaun Watson deal is he's unearthed some documents that no one's seen. These have not been in the public view. I know you did an interview yesterday on 92.3 where you talked to Tony Busby, who's the attorney for representing the 22 women. And you talked about some of the testimony that you have that we're going to get to later in the show. We'll probably get to it around sometime after 11:30. I just want to let everybody know you're not going to want to leave the program because this is stuff you haven't heard
Hot
before.
stuff.
And it's interesting. It's a small piece of a big puzzle, but it does shine some light on an area that was completely dark before. Am I adequately teasing this?
Yeah, this is this whole thing is messy and ugly and complicated.
Well
and
said.
I don't know if we will ever know exactly what happened X, Y, and Z, but I have spent months, literally months on this ever since the Browns acquired him, trying to get to the bottom of, okay, what happened, what didn't happen. We'll never know for sure, but I did obtain court testimonies pertaining to probably 4 accusers, tied in some form or fashion to 4 of the accusers, text messages.
And this is sworn
under oath
testimony.
Some petitions that were petitions are not sworn testimony. Those are the allegations filed with the court.
Nor our Real Sports interview, the HBO stuff we saw last night. None of that's under oath.
Correct. Correct.
This stuff that you have is sworn testimony, and it's fascinating. I do want to emphasize the one thing that I would really drive home is it's just a small piece of the total
small
picture.
piece.
There's 22 women. We're going to hear about 3 or 4 of them.
Right.
And I think people are smart enough to look at it and say, well, maybe perhaps what we're not seeing speaks louder than what we are.
What about the other 18 or 19?
And in a lot of cases, that's the way I look at it.
Yeah.
Okay, Mikey McNuggets, what's up?
So that's the big news of the day. This is a 1B, though. I'm going to break some news on the show about this show. You look at the 5 Avengers we've assembled on cast today in studio. That's an elite squad. But we are adding 2 more names to our weekly rotation. Aditi. Every Tuesday and Thursday, starting next week, will be with us, either remote or in studio.
For the whole show or segments?
Parts of the show.
That's
she will
phenomenal.
be on the show in some capacity every Tuesday and
I
Thursday.
think Mike was
for the rest
scared
of
to
the
say
year.
her last name because he didn't want to screw it up.
Yeah.
I plead the 5th. And I will say, on Wednesday, it's not just Aditi. How about Leroy Horde? We listen to Leroy. He'll be joining us every Wednesday from now through football season.
Yeah.
He was great.
I think the kids loved Leroy.
Yeah.
I really do.
He shoots straight. Leroy does.
There's no filter at all.
Love me some Leroy Horde.
And you know what's great about him is he's that way in real life. He's the same way on his radio show down in South Florida that he is in real life. And he brought his real life game to our show here, and I think that's why he was so well received.
Because you can't get people on here who are just got to keep working hard,
boring,
believing in yourself,
cliche.
listen to the coach, try to get better every day.
Yeah,
but he's just he's like, here's who's a jerk. Here's who I hated.
Yeah.
Here's who I got beef with. I love it.
Yeah, it is. It's fantastic. All right. All the housekeeping is taken care of?
Yeah, I just want to say one last thing here.
Okay, go ahead.
Find me a YouTube show, a TV show, a radio show with a better Monday through Friday lineup.
I
The
can't.
Tim Couch
Boy.
Monday, Aditi Tuesday, Leroy Wednesday, Aditi Thursday, DeQuell Friday, and now Jason Lloyd in the mix.
It's unbelievable.
whenever we
I
need
mean,
him,
you just
so.
ignored us, really.
Well, plus you guys,
But okay,
obviously.
thanks a lot, Mike.
We're partially on
nothing.
the plate. I mean, let's face it. Aditi is the fillet. Leroy Horde is your big vegetable. I mean, we're just
I don't know where this analogy is going.
Wow.
I'm a blooming
That was
onion. I'm a
terrible,
blooming
Jay.
onion,
That
just so
was
you guys
awful.
know.
This
Worst
was-
analogy you've had in
That was very
I'm just trying to say we're
And
just a
Aditi's
little
a
green
vegetarian.
parsley on the
She should be
plate.
the vegetable.
Yeah.
I see what you did there. All right, let's dive in. LeBron James, kids, is once again named to the All-NBA team. I don't think anybody's surprised by that. But the shocking thing is when you look at what he's done, this is the 18th time in 19 years.
Not bad.
So, yes, he's freakishly healthy. Like, for somebody that's so big and powerful and plays the game like he doesn't miss time. And 18 of his 19 years now, he has been a member of the All-NBA team.
Right now, he is frozen in a cryogenic chamber on
He
the
is.
moon for next season.
Until
where zero
next
gravity
September.
really helps. That's where he's at right now. That's how he stays healthy.
He has some sort of trick.
Yeah, he does.
I'm not making any accusations. I'm just looking at the guy saying, Father Time doesn't even know where he is. It catches everybody.
Nope.
Father Time doesn't even know where he is right now.
Caught his hairline and left the rest of them alone.
Here's the thing about LeBron. I would put LeBron and Tom Brady in the same category. These two guys of our generation spent more on their bodies
Yeah.
than anybody else. And there's a reason that they can play it. That is the reason that they can play to the level that they play at the age that they're at.
Because everybody works out. Everybody says, I really went at it in the offseason.
Not like these
But
guys.
the stories about Brady and LeBron, I think you're right. They're kind of in a league all their own.
And he could
It's
probably play till
insane.
45 like Brady.
Oh, he could.
Right?
He won't, but he could.
You know, crazy part about it is, as good as he is, I think he's still underrated. Like, as good as he is, there's a segment of people who don't really quite appreciate
I think it's a
how
personal thing
quick.
more
Is
than-
that the Jordan?
I agree.
Is that the
18
Jordan
and 19
fans?
He missed it. He missed all NBA his rookie year, and then went 18 straight.
Yep.
The fact that he's still playing and could lead the league in assists, lead the league in points. It's just people.
I don't think
people
he's
get it.
I don't agree that he's underrated because I think everybody universally agrees he's at worst the second best player in the history of the game. Are there people saying he's any lower than that?
Well, I think G. Bush is saying there's nobody that should look at this guy and say anything but here's the GOAT.
no, I don't think.
Am I putting words in your mouth?
No, to me, I thought he was the best player. I thought he was a GOAT 2-3 years ago. For me, and what I value, I value the totality of it. Somehow basketball has like been reduced down to championships. Like, you got to win these championships, and everything else doesn't count. But if you look up and he's played that long for that period of time, and he's been mentally tough enough to go. You don't think LeBron wanted a break? Jordan got a couple breaks in there. Now, I want to make this a thing about Jordan versus LeBron, but his greatness, when you look up, he could be the all-time leading scorer, top 5 in assists. He'll be somewhere in the top 20 in rebounds. He has in the playoffs. He only has the second most 3-point made behind Steph Curry.
He'll break the
It's
record for
crazy.
games played.
I'd argue it's a lot easier to stay healthy these days than when Jordan played, but especially because in those days everybody was playing 82 games every year.
Yeah, but guys are still getting hurt on a regular basis.
When, in those days?
No, now. We still see. I know you're saying it's easier to
Yeah,
stay
but-
healthy now than then.
Right.
Point taken.
Yeah,
I
but I
agree.
think part of that
but
is
guys
guys
still
don't-
get hurt. It's still
Agreed,
a game where
but I think my sense is that guys don't play through as much stuff as they played through in the 80s and 90s.
Jason.
There's famous stories of Michael going in, to your point, going in the training room. The one year, I can't remember the year. You can look it up and find it. Michael would go in the training room and guys would be sitting there getting taped up or whatever. You go, no, out, go get dressed, go get dressed, go get dressed. You're playing tonight. Shut up, go get dressed.
Wow.
And I don't care if you're hurt. Go get dressed.
What a chill guy.
Good teammate. Guys loved him.
He punched Steve Kerr.
I don't know how you can say LeBron's underrated though. If I think he's the second best player of all time, I don't think that means I'm underrating him.
No. When you bring up LeBron's name, when you bring up Mike, you don't have any. There's no warts. There's nothing put on his resume. When you bring up LeBron, people say, okay, well, you lost a lot in the finals. You moved to Miami. You went back. Russell Westbrook and Kate or Anthony Davis aren't playing well. You get a bunch of stuff on LeBron's resume where it's just like, oh, you didn't do that. You did. But when you look at the totality of it, his resume is honestly number for number better than Michael Jordan's.
Jordan's resume. You said he took time off. So and people will do the same thing.
But you know what? The stat that drives me nuts is that Jordan was 6 for 6. Perfect.
Yeah.
No. He had
wasn't.
twice as many seasons where he didn't make it to the finals.
I was just going to say that. Listen, I'm biased. I spent 4 years with LeBron.
Yeah.
I know him better than
Here we go.
most. No.
Listen, I want to hear what he's going to
Give
say.
him that resume.
But here's the thing: like LeBron gets killed for his 3-6 finals record, and like the Spurs series when he was swept with the Cavs. I don't know how you can hold that against him because that
Anybody
roster
that
was
does is
awful.
nuts.
Same things with the Warriors, really.
Danielle
They were
Marshall's
better.
ears are burning right now,
The
just so
only
you
one
know.
you can kill him for to me
Dallas.
is Dallas.
Dallas.
That's the only one you can
You
kill
can
him
kill
for.
him for Dallas.
Yep,
Yeah.
I think so too.
But why does Michael get a pass for not being able to beat the Pistons earlier in his career?
That's
Why
exactly
does he
right.
get a pass
Whoa,
for?
but wait a
But
second.
if the Bulls had made the finals earlier in his career and
Yeah.
lost, why does he get
agree-
credit for not making the
I agree
finals?
with the bigger sentiment that you and Jay are both bringing up. That yes, it shouldn't just be about your record only in the finals because Michael didn't get to the finals.
Right.
And had he got there, he might have lost. However, let's be fair. When did LeBron ever have a tough path through the East?
When did LeBron ever have the cast?
At least it.
Now, in Miami and
Yeah.
with his title in Cleveland, he
Yeah.
finally had the cast,
Yes.
the great cast around
Right.
him. But when you look at the cast that Michael had, those were different teams too. Teams tended to stay together more or less
Yeah.
then when Michael was winning his. But when you look at just the supporting cast that Michael had, at his disposal compared to some of the teams that LeBron has taken to the finals. You could have taken the best player in the league and taken LeBron off the Cavs and put the second best player in the league on the Cavs, and that team isn't sniffing the finals.
Agreed, but that's just his first time with the Cavs. When he went to Miami and then back with the Cavs again, he had good talent around him.
He did.
And
he had better teams.
The Heat had and the Cavs, when he came back here, had very little competition.
I mean, you got to think about it. Detroit Pistons had just beat the three-peat Lakers. The Detroit Pistons were a bona fide team in the East.
No question.
They were when LeBron was
when
here
they
the
had
first
their
time.
run.
When they had their run.
Talking about that, what I'm saying is since Miami. From Miami through coming back here, he's had no competition in the East.
Well, here I'm going to say this.
He only went to the most of his finals are since he went to Miami.
But to me,
and there was no East competition like Michael had to deal with in those years.
I'm going to ask you this question. Do you think there's a team Michael Jordan played in the finals that were better than the Warriors with KD?
No.
I agree.
No.
I don't think so either.
No, that was.
But
and
I
that's
didn't argue against that.
Yeah,
but
I know.
what I'm saying,
the path from the East
that
was
2
easy.
years.
That's 2 years.
But
you still got to win. To win the whole thing is.
I agree with what you're saying with the level of competition. The East was not as high
East
as
was
what.
a joke.
But having said that, 8 straight trips to the finals
It's great.
is remarkable.
Of course it is, but you have to acknowledge that it wasn't that hard.
Sure, but still, you still have to stay healthy. You still have to win.
Course.
And
It's
to make
incredible
8
what he
straight
did.
finals is unbelievable. And here's the other thing, and I know people want to dismiss the bubble title, but history will show LeBron took 3 franchises to a championship.
That's crazy.
Show me any other superstar that did that took 3 different franchises
in
to a
fairness,
championship.
Guys weren't changing teams in those days.
No, but they are now.
It doesn't
and
matter.
I don't think, to your point of 8, I don't think we'll see that again. I don't think we'll see a single player play in 8 straight finals with 3 different teams.
I mean,
That's
we haven't seen it since Bill Russell in the 60s.
No.
So
And-
it was
and over
50 years,
I think
60
it's a
years.
great accomplishment, but I think you also have to acknowledge that had the Eastern competition been better, he probably wouldn't have gone 8 straight
I
finals.
don't know that I agree with that.
Yeah, I don't either. Here's what I want to do, because we kind of we turned into a Michael versus.
I told you we
Thanks,
didn't
G.
want
Bush.
to go there.
No, I want to kick it back to this. So where does this stand in the pantheon of like Iron Men type streaks? Where does LeBron's 18 out of 19 stand with guys like Cal Ripken? You see what he's been able to do.
God.
Phil Kessel also just broke the NHL record. I think what Brett Favre was able to do in the NFL, particularly at the position that he played, is stunning. I know the number you see there is 297, but if you throw in playoff games, 321 straight starts. Guys, that's like 20 regular seasons.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's 18 and a half seasons in total. Where does LeBron fit in with these other total Iron Men type streaks?
Nothing will top Cal Ripken
I don't think
in
it
my
fits
mind.
with these things. These are all consecutive games.
No, we're
it's
apples
not-
and oranges.
it is
We're
apples and oranges.
but like,
But
where does it fit in?
Yeah.
But for Cal Ripken, they're playing every single day, 162 games.
Yep.
To do that for over 2,000 games is a stunning testament to durability. What LeBron did is a stunning testament to greatness.
Yes.
And there's a
durability
difference.
and greatness.
You can play every day. Doesn't mean you're any good. You can suck and get out there
Sure.
every day if your team's not.
First
any
of all,
good.
if you're in the league 19 years, you're not some schlep. You're
That's exactly
a
right.
terrific player.
Yeah.
Jay-Z said this: no one has ever been this good for this long, and that was on the Black Album. Nobody in the NBA has ever been this good.
Any argument from
there's
anybody
no
here?
argument on that, of
no.
course.
Mike,
No.
I do think we should add Johnny Chestnut to that for his hot dog eating prowess. He's been
Joey
an iron-
Chestnut.
Joey
Joey
Chestnut. Thank you
Chestnut.
very
Because the
much.
other
It's
one-
embarrassing. I'm so sorry, Joey.
It's a great. And by the way, why are all the great competitive eaters skinny?
I was just going to say
They have
that.
everything.
they purge.
The fat guys are never good at that.
I was hanging out with Joey Chestnut in Vegas.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's the 3rd name drop. We've been.
You
You dropped it on me.
I want to have a meal with
I
Joey.
didn't say I
He,
knew
he
him.
is in phenomenal shape.
He
Like,
really is.
I looked at him, I was
he's
like,
an
oh my
athlete.
He's an
God, man.
excellent
Like,
And before him, it was Kobayashi.
Yep.
Yeah.
Who won a bunch.
And he was like a
America
buck 30
took
with
it
clothes
back.
on.
America took it back, Kobayashi. Remember that.
So I'm with you. I think that when you talk Iron Men streaks, I don't care. They're all impressive in their own way. What Brett Favre, particularly at that position, is just mind-blowing to me. But what Cal Ripken did, the record was considered before he broke it, kind of sports holy grail, would never be touched. Not only did Cal break it, for good measure, he went on to play another 500 consecutive games.
Just showing off.
And this is what I most love about Cal. At the end of the season, when he was at 2.632, he goes into his manager that day and says, "Take me out of the lineup, Skip." Wait, What?
Right.
Things I never thought I'd hear for a million. And I thought the way he handled that was, I think he's one of the classiest superstars that we've ever seen. He did it because he didn't want to place any outside pressure on the organization to keep him around if he wasn't worthy the next season, just so he could keep the streak alive. He didn't want that perception. So he told Skip, take me out of the lineup. I'm perfectly healthy. I could play, but take me out of the lineup. And guys, you'll remember this. The sports journalism world crashed. I mean, any story that was on the top of the above the fold, as they say, it was all anyone talked about. And the other thing that I'd say about Ripken, which was one of the most incredible things I've seen in my entire time of being a sports fan, when he broke 21-31, he got a 22-minute standing ovation.
Yeah, I remember him
He
running
took
around,
seven
everybody up,
curtain
taking them
calls.
laps.
I don't think we'll ever see anything like that again in the history of sports. That's why, for me,
I would have been so annoyed at that game. Like 11 minutes in, I'd be like,
you know
okay,
what?
can we
I
sit
talked to
down?
people that were there, and I asked them that very question.
Yeah.
I'm like, at some point, like at 5 minutes, you had to be like, okay,
I'd be
we got a
getting a
game to
beer.
play. But the people that I spoke to that were there covering it said they had goosebumps for the first 10.
Yeah.
After that, they just sat
would've
back
loved it.
and said,
Exhausting.
we're never going to see this again. I'm going to bathe in this
I'm
moment.
super surprised you guys are baseball guys. I'm super surprised this wasn't on the list. The sellout record at Jacobs Field.
That's good.
That
Yeah, but
will
that's
never
individual person.
Yeah.
touched.
I still like it.
That
Yeah.
streak
Yeah.
is that's not going to
Considering
even be
those
approached.
teams were drawing like 3 million fans a season,
Crazy.
and they're on pace this year, guys. This is horrific.
Let's not.
They're on pace this year to
Under a
draw
million.
just over 1 million fans,
So 2
which would be
million
their
extra
lowest
fans.
attendance figure since @91, I believe.
By the way,
We're
I saw two historic. Well, one's historic and one's just at baseball games. I was at Tom Seaver's 300th win.
Nice.
He was pitching for the White Sox at Yankee Stadium. That was pretty cool.
Yep.
And then I saw a no-hitter.
Oh, wow. Very cool.
Unfortunately, it was at Wrigley Field and it was against the Cubs, so I didn't really enjoy it. But,
Right.
but
So I think we're in agreement that
Yeah.
Ripken, and then for me, it's probably LeBron.
yeah. And
Because
speaking
it's
of
greatness
LeBron,
and durability. Do you guys have one that is your Iron Man best? Who's your
I
standard?
think it's got to be Ripken. It's
Mike?
got to be.
I'd have to
Ripken.
go with that too. I mean,
I feel bad for the hockey guy. It's like I don't even know him.
Yeah.
Right.
Whatever.
Right.
that might be a thing. Congrats,
AC
guy.
Green playing that many straight basketball games is pretty crazy.
It is
too.
nuts.
Tom
Yeah.
Brady-
Because he
also
never had
playing
sex,
football
right?
with that. I mean,
Wasn't he a virgin?
I
AC
don't know.
Green?
Yeah, I think you're
Yeah.
right.
Yeah,
I
he
think
The
you're
guy
right.
was a virgin. That's why he was able to play so much.
Yep,
He
that's
never-
the secret, fellas.
But I got a question for Jason. Do you think LeBron will ever win a championship game again? A championship again as the best player on the team?
Well, you first have to start the conversation is he going to win another championship?
Yeah, I think that's
Okay, fine.
a separate conversation.
And if he stays in LA, no. I don't think he's going
Right,
to
they're
win
a
another
disaster.
championship.
Yeah.
So that to me, so this summer is going to tell us a lot.
Yeah.
And not to derail your question, but if he signs the extension, this summer in August he's eligible to sign. I think
Do
it's
you
a 2-year
feel
extension.
he's going to sign that? Because I don't think he is.
I think he is. I think he will. If he
Wow.
doesn't, buckle up. That's what I keep saying.
Yeah, I know.
If he
It's
doesn't
gonna get
sign
real
that,
interesting.
buckle up
Yep.
because it's going to get crazy.
Yeah.
Just
But-
imagine walking out of LA, just throwing a match behind him. He's like, "Good luck with your salary cap," and he just leaves.
So if he stays in LA, I don't think he'll ever win another championship.
I tried telling Laker fans when they were going nuts, LeBron. I said it's not going to end well.
Sorry,
He might
man.
get you a ring or two, but it is not going to
Yeah.
end well. And I don't think it is.
If he leaves LA and can play for another championship, yes, he can be the best player still.
Wow.
Because he plays for April, May, and June. Like he doesn't care. He can drive an organization crazy for November, December, January, February, March. I've seen it.
Yeah.
April, May, and June, he pays the check and he makes it all worth it.
Yeah.
He even would tell us that. He's like, "I'm going into," he'd be like, "I'm going to start trying now. We're getting near the playoffs."
If you had to bet today, your house on the line, is LeBron?
I just built it.
Then it's you better think about this answer. Will LeBron ever play for the Cavs again? If you had to bet.
I had a long conversation with him this summer.
I know you did.
Or at All-Star Weekend.
Yeah.
I will say no.
No.
But
Yeah.
I do think that there's a possibility.
Possible.
I
What
do
in
think
that
it's a possibility.
conversation makes you say no that you had
Because I think he's going to sign the extension and stay in LA.
for a long time?
I think when he had that for
if
the
he
rest of
signs
his career.
extension, that would be it.
For the rest of his
So
career.
championship is not his first priority anymore?
Okay, so like we're getting off. I'm trying not to go.
Like
this,
you see how Mike
Yeah,
he's
I know.
like,
Mikey
Mike's gonna
McNuggets is
strangle us.
killing you right
Yeah.
now.
Can I do this or not? Do we got time to do this?
Yes.
All right, we got
This-
time
this
to do
is
this.
great.
and then
Okay.
tell
Yeah,
us
yeah.
about your wedding.
no.
Okay, so here's my thing with LeBron. When we were in New Orleans, his second to last year in Cleveland, coming off the championship, okay? We were down in New Orleans for a game, and they lost to a bad Pelicans team. And in the locker room that night, he set the organization on fire and said they're top heavy, they need more playmakers. Like, he put Griff on notice, he put the entire organization on notice. And they did not take kindly to that. And he told us to write, like, he had been grumbling leading up to that. And after he did his formal availability that night, it was me, it was Joe Vardon, Dave McMenamin standing there, and LeBron like saw us, caught eyes with us, and goes, "Hey, write this." And we're like, "Okay, it's on. What do you got?" And that he just torched the organization.
My scribes, spread the word.
Well, when he talks.
When he talks, it's news. So as he was leaving that night, as he's leaving the locker room, I'll never forget, he was standing in the mirror like adjusting his shirt. He goes, "It would be different if I wasn't still in championship mode, but I'm still playing at an incredibly high level." And he left the locker room. So the question that I have that I don't know the answer to is he still in championship mode? Because he's still playing at an incredibly high level. Does he want more championships? Is he going to hunt more titles?
Yeah.
Or is he good with 4? If he's good, then he's probably going to stay there and retire there and make movies. And his kids love living in L.A. His wife loves L.A. And he's just going to ride it out in L.A.
But couldn't they still live there? I mean, he's
never lived away from his family. He's never lived away from his family.
Yeah.
And now Bronny's getting ready to graduate. Bryce still has a couple years to go. If he wants another title, I believe, and people will disagree with this, I believe he's going to have to leave L.A. if he wants another title in his career.
I don't disagree with that. at all.
Could he go somewhere else besides Cleveland and L.A.?
Look.
Or you think it's only Cleveland?
I think it's Cleveland.
I think
and
so,
now
too.
here's the reason why I think that.
Yeah.
And the Cavs are going to push back on that and say, we don't want him. We've been through that before. We don't want him. Okay, well, guess what? You need a playmaking wing. Like, that's what this team needs.
Yeah.
You can't win championships in the NBA.
Who could fill that role?
Who could fill
100%.
it? And so here's the thing. Like, this is what so after our conversation at All-Star Weekend, when he said I wouldn't close the door on that, and by the way, he got himself in a lot of trouble with everything that he told me. So he goes back to L.A. and has to, like, put out some fires with Jeannie and Rob
Damage
and
control.
everybody. Damage
Immediately.
control. So he irritated me. So he goes out when he gets back to L.A. and he said, the media twisted his words. And I was like, your words were not twisted.
No.
So they came back like 2 weeks later. The Lakers came back to Cleveland, and I waited for him after he did his press availability, and I said, listen, I'm not writing anything else on this. I did not twist your words. And he said, no, you didn't. And I said, but you went back and said that your words were twisted.
He had to
goes,
do that.
He goes, he had to. And he goes, now you're twisting my words. I said, the media twisted my words. I said, I am the media. And he said, no. He said, we're good. You wrote exactly what I said. We're good. And I said, okay, I just want to hear you say that. And so, like, I said, good seeing you again. I'll see you when I see you.
Inside information only on the Ultimate
Putting
Cleveland
LeBron
Sports
in
Show.
check.
So, he and I went at it. We went at it big time. Like,
Good.
Oh, it was fun. It was a
Good
lot
for
of fun.
you.
So
For standing up.
So that's where I guess I would leave it. And so when he said that, I thought the Cavs were going to make the playoffs and probably get bounced in the first round. And then next year they make the playoffs again, and then he's a free agent. If he doesn't sign the extension, then he's a free agent. And now you've got a really good young team that's one piece away
Little
from
more
getting
seasoned.
over the top.
Yeah.
And listen, LeBron and Dan have never had a good relationship. That's
He came
it
back in
never-
spite of Dan.
yes.
Is Dan less involved right now, though?
I was just going to say
Yeah,
that.
okay.
Yep.
First of all, they had a mutual agreement. I need you, you need me to
Yep.
get us where
Let's
we
win
want
a
to go.
title.
They want a title, we're good. Go our separate ways. The Cavs are not the Cavs of 2018. Dan is not as involved as he was. Look at the extensions they're handing out. They never handed out
No, I know
extensions, ever. That's like Oprah's book club. You get an extension, and you get an extension. Kobe and JB are going to outlast me in Cleveland.
Yeah.
So the Cavs are not the Cavs anymore. And listen, a lot of pieces have to align. And I just said, I think he finishes his career in L.A. I'm just laying out for you the
But you're
path.
saying there's a chance.
I'm laying out the path for you if it doesn't happen.
Second best chance
That's
to him
why.
staying in LA.
You
think
heard
is
what
him
I
coming to
heard,
Cleveland.
Jay?
Yes.
I did.
If you
LeBron
could
coming back.
If you could get LeBron without having to get rid of any of the 3 core pieces, then they're the best
I
team
think
in the
you've got a
East.
title contender, even if it is
Yeah.
LeBron 2 years from now.
Yeah.
I don't see his body and his game falling that much.
Yeah,
Now,
even
here's-
if he's 90% or 85%
Now
of
here's
what he
the
is.
thing: LeBron does not like playing with kids. But it's 2 years away.
Yeah,
and
they
2
won't
year-
be that
in 2
young.
years, that's right. 2 years
But
from
Jason,
now,
am I
Garland
right?
will be in year 4.
In assuming that he loves this core group, I think he's watching this group
Yes.
from a distance,
Yes.
and he's very impressed. It seems like he's a fan of these guys.
Well, he loved Kyrie and thought he could do something with Dion, and then he got back here and watched him dribble himself silly in Portland, and literally stood in the corner and just watched Kyrie and
These guys
Dion.
move the
Yeah.
ball.
But
These
could-
guys move the
could-
ball,
could he
They do.
play-
right? Yeah.
Could
They do.
he play a different way besides being the
He can
ball?
play any way he wants.
So So he doesn't have to. If you say I got Darius Garland and he's orchestrating offense, LeBron doesn't need to bring the ball up, orchestrate. He could play a different way.
Here's the thing with LeBron that drives me crazy sometimes. So when he left basically, if you remember the press conference he gave right before that finals ended, he basically laid out the reasons why he was going to go. He needed more help around him. He felt like he could never take time off. He had to play 48-minute games. He could not come out of the game. He needed more help around him. But then every situation he gets into, he becomes the guy and takes over the game and he's the ball in his hands.
Well, it's like the guy who says to himself, I really have to delegate. But then when it comes time to start delegating, he's like, I don't want to trust this to anybody else.
The ball's in my hands.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And that's a burden. To your question, could he take a lesser role? I think if there's anybody built for that, it's LeBron. He's the greatest passer of the basketball that I've ever seen. And when you look at what he can do with the ball in his hands and make plays and score the basketball and penetrate, the fact that he's willing to assist if that's what the game situation calls for tells me that that's a micro level. On the macro level, I think when he gets to that point where he probably realizes the Jordan in Washington, I think that's going to be an easy transition for him. I can rebound, I can assist, I can play defense, I can score if you need me.
Right.
Whatever.
The other factor that we haven't mentioned, the Bronny thing is absolutely real. He 100% wants to play with Bronny.
Do you see the Bronny as, and I know it's hard to speculate, but is he an NBA
going.
talent?
No.
Because
he
a lot
needs
of
college.
Yeah.
I was talking to an NBA evaluator about that, and I said, how close is he? And he said he really probably needs 3 years of college.
I've heard the same thing.
Facts.
Interesting.
So LeBron's got to play to 45 then.
Or
No, he's LeBron. He can get him in.
Yeah, if he said, Bronny, you're coming out after one,
But why would he do
Cleveland,
that if
I'm
it's
coming
not good for
home,
him?
and you're going to sign him as a free agent.
it
No,
might
I
be
know he
good,
could
though.
do
It
that,
might
but
be
why
good
would
for
he?
us if Bronny is not that good, because then maybe he won't get drafted, and then he can dictate which team he goes
I think
to.
that's
who
exactly
picks
how
him
it's gonna
up,
play out.
Well, no,
and then LeBron can be like,
Here's how it's going to play out. I'll tell you exactly how it's going to play out. Rich Paul's the most powerful agent in the NBA, and he's going to
is
call
true.
up every team and say,
Don't
if
touch
you-
him.
If you take Bronny, you're going to have a hard
Get
time
none of my
dealing with
players
me
ever again. Yeah.
in
Yeah.
the future.
That's the
And
kind of
Bronny
power
will-
he has.
He 100%.
And they would honor it too.
Of course.
I don't
because
think they
he's
want to
not
go
a top-
against.
let's
because
rig
he's not-
this game.
Because he's not a top talent.
I'm all
Right.
for it.
But under my scenario, LeBron's staying in LA, and Rich Paul is saying, let him fall to the Lakers. And again, I want to be perfectly clear. I believe LeBron probably finishes his career in LA. I'm just laying out a path to you
Possible.
of how it could go another way,
Yeah.
and it all is predicated on this summer in August and whether or not he
And
signs
here
an
I was
extension.
going to ask you about Kyrie Irving, but we're out of time.
Forget it.
We're
Yeah,
out
that's
of
the
time.
show,
We'll
everyone.
save it for his next visit.
Bye.
There is going to be a next visit. I can tell you that right now.
We haven't even gotten to the good stuff.
No.
Yeah.
I know it's coming up. Let's turn the page to the Browns because something happened yesterday after their OTAs, which, by the way, just on the Deshaun Watson as a quarterback discussion, I don't know if he impressed you as much as he impressed me. I wasn't there. I saw a lot of tape. My goodness, that's what the quarterback position is supposed to look like.
I was there.
Wow.
The ball comes out of his hand different than it did with 6.
I
It
don't know
is
why
a-
everybody seems shocked by this. Didn't we already
No.
know he was great?
But to
Not
see
shocked, but you see it and you know what you have.
In a Browns uniform.
Jim Donovan was telling me yesterday that it's kind of like you know you've got the present you asked for under the Christmas tree, and it's going to be even greater than you expected, but you're just not sure you're going to be opening it on Christmas Day.
And this is the exact reason why there's some percentage of fans of this town that are so obsessed with Baker. Because for 30 years, we've seen absolute trash quarterbacks. So when you got mediocrity in Baker, you thought it was better than it was because you'd only seen awful. And now you see something that's actually great,
Yeah,
and you're
but,
blown away by it.
I think I know what we're getting in Deshaun
Yeah.
Watson. What surprised me most is this dude's been in mothballs
Yeah.
for over a year.
Yeah.
And he came out and just even before I saw him throw a football, and you just look at him, you're like, okay, that's what a quarterback looks like if you can build one in the lab.
Yeah. Right, yeah.
And then you watch, to your point, on the ball comes out different. It's crisp, it's sharp, it's on point. He made throws yesterday, and I know it's OTAs. I'm not going to gas that.
Right.
But I've seen quarterbacks come into OTAs with a lot of rust on their arm. This guy had none of it.
Wait till the pads get on. You see, people happy now. Wait till them pads get to hitting. Wait till he start moving around.
I think it's going to look even better then.
Climbing up the pocket, improvising, putting balls on the money, 35 yards on a laser. People gonna be like, you know what, this is it.
Yeah.
I can tell you, Garrett, with 100% certainty, when I did a really big story on Deshaun when the trade first went down of like how the Browns put this together and how they got him. The Browns are salivating over his RPO and his ability to keep plays on
Run pass option.
Thank you. Appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
It opens up everything.
Yes. And Kevin Stefanski sat down with an iPad with Deshaun for 45 minutes and went over and showed him, here's what we did, and now here's what you did in Houston, and this is how it's going to fit with what we're doing here. And that really, I think, had a lot to do with, I know everyone's going to say $230 million when I'm over, but I think that 45 minutes that Kevin and Deshaun spent chopping it up and talking X's and O's went a long way.
The $230 million didn't hurt.
Oh, of course. That
but the fact that he's kind of vibing with his new
And when you get Deshaun on that board, if you want to see Deshaun Watson dissect some stuff, high level. I mean, from figuring out what the safeties is doing, guys is coming down, what coverage, what they roll into. He's brilliant on the board.
It was one OTA practice.
I know.
But you saw, if you were there.
Super Bowl.
You saw why they're willing to go through this toxic mess that they're in right now.
Yeah.
You saw why they feel like the payoff is worth it.
And I think,
once they get
to your
through
point, wait till pads. My thing is wait until close and late games when you need him to step up and be that guy. I think he's.
And you're going to have faith that he's going to do it, unlike past quarterbacks.
Okay, so his play was fantastic, but he did something after OTAs were over and the media session was going on. As many of you guys know, he wore number 4 in Houston. He wanted to wear number 4 here. The problem with that was that number was occupied. Walker wore 4 last year on the defense, which is a little odd for a defensive player, but it is what it is. So Deshaun asked him, could he have the number? And Walker said, yeah, you can have it, and I don't want anything. Well, Watson wasn't going to settle for that. This is Walker at the podium yesterday, and Deshaun coming up to him with a little memento, a way of showing thanks for giving him the number 4. Roll it, Mikey.
You know, you go into a new system last year, you kind of, try to take it in as a rookie, learning a new system, being around new guys, the locker room and everything like that. So obviously going into that second year with a lot of the same faces and a lot of, Appreciate you, man. Hold on. Appreciate that. All right. You're not going to open it? No, I'm not. So, it's a good guy, man. Appreciate that.
So anybody that knows anything about watches knows that when you see that brown box, that's the cost of a car. That's a Rolex. And on the surface, everybody was like, wow, what a nice guy, what a great guy. But then there were the cynics that said, interesting he didn't just hand it to him in the locker room when no one was around.
That was me going.
Yeah, and it was me too. It was for the cameras.
Serious?
And I
He's
just
on a campaign right now.
He's with them all week. He picked the 30 seconds he's in front of the cameras to hand
I don't
it to
think
him.
Anthony Walker knew that was coming.
I don't think Walker was
No, he
involved in
didn't.
it.
He was a little
That was
But
a
his
genuine
PR
surprise.
team knew it was coming
shout
at that
out-
right time.
Shout out to his PR team.
Yep.
Listen, you guys need to learn how to be politicians more. The optics count.
Yeah, but we see through the optics.
No.
Not everybody.
Yeah, we're smarter than
We
those
don't
people.
care about that. We don't care about that. His teammates, right? He's preaching to a specific audience. Let me show you how I take care of my people. It's guesswork. I'm gonna show you how I get down. I'm gonna show you how I take my people around. This is how I roll. You with the big homie now. Come on over here. Let me show you.
I know,
how
but
we
I
doing
just
that.
feel there's a measure of him doing
Hey.
it for the credit and
It
not
is.
because
And by the way,
very
he
transparent.
And it works.
should
And it worked. We just showed it.
And
And
it works.
everyone's talking
It
about. By
works,
the way,
but-
Deshaun Watson should have spoken to the media this week.
Totally
He should have
agree.
Yeah,
spoken
I
to the
thought
media.
that was a miss yesterday.
That's
Totally
a bad
agree.
job by
Because
them.
the questions are still going to be there next week.
Yeah,
Just
they're not gonna
do
go
it
away.
And I'll tell you what. Like, I think that the Cleveland media. I was at Deshaun's opening press conference. I thought they did a fantastic job. They asked
Yes.
everything it needed asked.
Yes.
All he has to do is say, guys, we covered this. I said everything I can say on it.
Yep.
We're moving on and playing football. That's all he has to do.
And there will be some reporters that don't hear that and they'll ask a follow-up.
Oh, of course,
But
and I'd be one of them, because you
continue
still have to ask the
say,
question.
guys, I've said you're going to say that 7 or 8 times, and then everybody's going to get the idea that if we want any access to him at all, because you know how this game works.
Right.
If you're going to keep asking the question that I'm refusing to answer, I'm going to refuse to
And
answer
that's why
any
he's
other
got
question.
and that's why he's got to keep doing press conferences, because we got to get past that point, and then it'll be football questions.
Right.
And then
I agree with that.
I'm the non-journalist guy. I don't. So even if he answered those questions at the press conference, as a journalist, right? Do you still have an
Yes.
obligation to
We have new
continue to
information.
ask those new questions?
Yes.
Right?
As information comes out.
Yeah,
Yes.
and
Any
it was the
information
day after
since
the,
the
and it
last
was the
press-
day
The day
after
after
Real
the
Sports.
HBO, yes.
So there
Okay.
was no way that if he would have stood in front of Mike's, there's no way the first 10 questions wouldn't have been about anything but
Right.
the HBO Real Sports series
But
and
get
the
that
new
out of the way.
information.
Get it out of the way. Just do that.
Here's what I always say, and This is what I wrote when Kyrie went on his media blackout. If you don't talk, we talk for you.
Yes, and
don't
you never
let
want
us
that.
Don't let us do the talking for you.
Yeah.
Get out there and talk. And going back to LeBron, that's the one thing he did so well was media. He was always available.
Yes.
And Deshaun needs to do that. He needs to talk and talk a lot and let him talk for himself. And then when he's off the field, shut up. Shut up
yeah.
and go sit in the
Baker
corner
didn't do.
and stay out of the headlines.
So it wasn't
to
just
his
the Rolex
point, though,
either.
to your point, Deshaun has proclaimed his innocence the entire time. 100%. If you're truly 100% innocent, then why would you hide from? I'm not saying he was necessarily hiding. Maybe the team didn't want him to do a press conference. But if I'm 100% innocent, I'm never going to shy away from talking.
Because even if you're 100% innocent, it might not be in your legal best interest to speak up.
That's
on
it
things.
right there. Because the
Super
more he
facts.
talks about this, the more he opens himself up to cross-examination in these civil trials where his story might change.
But that's why you just say we already addressed this on Movie
Yes,
On. Then you
that's
can't
the
get
answer.
tripped up.
That's the
because
answer.
anything he says in any press conference can be used against him in any civil suit.
But then he'll get to football questions eventually if he does that. But be out there and
Yeah,
talk.
just-
I don't see him getting those until this is settled in some way. I just
Or-
don't see him getting serious football
Or he
questions
could
right
just
now.
tell all of us to go jump in the lake. I'm not talking to you. What can you do to me? It doesn't.
But he's trying to win
Jason,
us
do you-
over in a PR.
Well, he's winning his teammates over.
Right.
That's the thing. His teammates keep him
trip to the
insulated.
Bahamas will do that.
They keep
he
him
wants to win
insulated.
the public over.
Hey,
too.
Jason,
Yes,
don't
he
think
does. He does. He wants people to root for
He's
him.
building a
Everybody
playground
wants that.
out front right now. He's building a playground
What
on
else
the
you-
lakeside.
I will real quick. They are going on the attack more than they have in the past. Rusty Hard and his defense team have sat back.
Well, that's because Busby is, right?
Well, that's because of the HBO show, I think.
Yeah.
Just
Well,
this,
that's Busby.
just within the last few days, there's been a pivot in their strategy, and they're doing more media, and they're getting out in front of this. I think they should have been doing it long ago. And Rusty Harden said, we were never going to win the PR battle. I was focused on the criminal component, and then the NFL, and then we'll get to the PR battle. But I think that and listen, Rusty Harden's done this a lot more than I have. I think it was a mistake, and they should have been on the attack earlier on.
Okay, do you think that the Browns were involved in the decision? Because I kind of do. I think there was a conversation between the Browns and Deshaun to not talk.
Oh, for sure.
That wasn't
Yeah.
just Deshaun.
Oh, 100%. That was the Browns saying, you're not talking
yeah,
to them.
and probably Rusty Harden probably weighed in on that too.
And guess what? Next Wednesday there's media availability, and the following Wednesday he's got to talk at some point.
He will at some point. I think it behooves him to wait later. I know you want him to get it out of the way.
Yeah, I
but
would if I were him.
I think it's so close to the heels of the HBO stuff
Let it dissipate.
that just let it simmer. When you come back for training camp, do what you said at the very beginning.
Yep.
And what you said. I've talked about this. I've gone over this. I am here to play football. I'm letting my lawyers handle all the legal stuff. I believe that I'll be cleared because I'm innocent and I am going to play football for the Cleveland
it.
Browns, and that's my priority.
and
my
he
focus.
can hide behind ongoing litigation because it's true. He can't talk about
Right.
pending, even if it's civil and not
The
criminal.
reporters do
surprised
want
Still
to ask
litigation.
football questions.
Yes,
They do. They want to
the
get
first
to
4 or 5 questions to Kevin yesterday
Yeah.
were football related, and
Yeah.
then the Deshaun stuff.
Were
came
you
in.
surprised that Busby made 2 of the accusers available to the media? I know now that you said that Harden's pivoted, and you're going to see now this is going to be a fountain of stuff that's just flowing from both camps because I think all gloves are off at this point.
Yeah.
I was somewhat surprised that we heard from the accusers because just as Watson can have anything that he says in these interviews used against him, I believe the accusers can too. And even if you're telling a true story, I'm sure this has happened to all of you guys, you may change a detail here or there, not even knowing it, but the skeleton of the story is true. I thought these women opened themselves up to cross-examination in the civil suits that if they slip up and tell one small detail differently, Deshaun's lawyer is going to jump on that and say, wait a minute, now you're telling a different story. Your credibility is in question here. I was surprised they talked.
It's a catch-22 though. You need to put a face with it, right? You got to put a face with the allegation.
gotta be people.
So you need that. But at the same time, when you put somebody in your face and you put them in the public eye, there's a chance that they do change their story inadvertently or slip up. So it's a catch-22. You have to risk reward. Like, hey, is it worth that person being the face of it, or do we just let it chill?
But your scenario is in the court of public opinion.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
yes.
Where that doesn't matter really at the end of the day.
Here's why I think he did it. He's looking for a settlement, and you're cranking up the pressure because I still believe all these cases will be settled. I don't think they're going to court.
I think so too.
There's 22 of them. This
Yeah.
will take years.
It would.
The
Take
Browns,
years.
the Browns for sure want him to settle. They can't say that. The Browns want him to settle.
Yep.
Is there a scenario, Jason, where we talked about this on the show yesterday, where he could come out and say, I want to start by saying I maintain my innocence. I knowingly did nothing that, in my mind, crossed a line. It's clear to me now, after seeing some of my accusers tell their stories, that they were clearly offended by things that I may have done to them that I didn't mean to be offensive. And for that, I'm truly sorry, but I maintain I did nothing that crossed my line. If it crossed their line, I'm sorry for that. I want to take care of them financially. He can do that. I want this over with so I can put all of my energies into playing football. Isn't that kind of
I think the
a
tricky
win-win?
thing about that, though, is that he did, if everyone's telling the truth, ejaculate on someone. And that is maybe like, you can't be like, what, that's not cool? How was I supposed to know? That's kind of rough. That's a rough thing, though.
Yes, but isn't it possible
that he perceived
he
the situation that she was
they
okay
were
with that?
interested.
Oh, he thought you were, yeah.
Maybe
Well,
she
that's
wasn't,
pretty
but didn't
presumptuous.
say it
Let's face it.
explicitly.
Athletes
it's
are
tricky
almost
things.
never told no
Yeah.
in life. The ones that are true superstars.
Right.
Whether it's in high school, this C can become a B, so you're eligible. Whether it's in college, sure, you went to every class. We play Notre Dame this weekend.
Yeah.
So they're used to in life getting the benefit of the doubt in every scenario they're in.
Doesn't
and
matter
they're
in a court of
very
law.
I know it doesn't, but I'm just saying in his mind,
Yes,
in the minds
it
of
is-
these athletes, and
it
I know
is
you've
mine.
had many conversations with many, as have I,
Yeah.
where they're incredibly entitled.
But I agree,
Entitled
that's
where they shouldn't be.
They get offended anytime you push back on them at all.
Of
about
course they
anything.
do, because no one ever
They've
has.
never been challenged. I still agree that's his best approach, though, what you just said. I think it's kind of nonsense, but I
I
think
said that
that's
yesterday.
approach.
I suggested he do that yesterday, and everybody was like saying, "This is crazy."
Because I wasn't here.
I think that's the only play at this point.
I don't. Listen, here's
If he feels that way,
If he's down the street now. If he's going to do that, he could have did that weeks ago.
Yeah.
He's already into the season. They got the cases scheduled. I don't believe that you could come out right now at this point and be like, you know what? I didn't think it was that bad.
What's it worth for him, though, for this to be over?
Here's the thing. It's worth a lot for it to be over.
Sure.
But so there's a scale and there's two things to weigh on it. Number one, I don't believe it's in his best interest to settle now because the NFL is just wrapping up its investigation.
Yep.
If you settle now, you're admitting guilt of some sort, and they can use that in terms of their suspension.
Not
but
if in
the
your
other
statement
side,
you say, I maintain I
it
did
doesn't
nothing
matter.
wrong.
If
It
you're
doesn't
paying
matter.
them, it doesn't matter.
If you settle,
yes,
you're perceived
But
guilty.
the other side to that is the NFL wants him to settle too. So the NFL can go to Deshaun and say, listen, clean this up and get rid of this, and it's 3 games or 2 games or 4 games or whatever the number is.
Yeah.
If you take these to trial, all bets are off, and the gloves are off, and we'll see what happens.
That's what I think is going to happen.
And so that's why I don't think that. And listen, I talked to Rusty Harden, his defense attorney, 2 days ago. I talked to Tony Busby, the attorney representing the 22 women, yesterday.
And I love that you asked him, are you looking for a settlement?
And both sides said that is not a discussion right now. Well, yeah, it's not a discussion right now because the NFL is wrapping up its investigation and they're getting ready to rule.
Right.
So they're going to sit back and wait for the NFL, and the NFL could very well go to him and say, clean it up and get rid of it, and this is what it's going to be. If you don't, who knows what it's
Do
going
you
to be.
think there's a chance they would suspend him, and then if he settles later, or if he loses later, give him another suspension?
I think it will be one suspension.
Okay.
Unless new information comes out from a new
like the Ray
witness.
Rice situation.
I know this
Correct.
is the most tough. It has to be the most difficult question that we're going to ask you today, and it's not fair to ask it, but I feel like we have to, because that's what we've done. At the end of the day, what do you feel the suspension is going to be?
I believe I've maintained this from the start. According to the NFL's code of conduct and sexual misconduct, I believe it will be 6 games. And this is not sourced. This is just I've tried.
It's just your opinion.
Yeah, just my opinion. I believe it'll be 6 games with the potential to be 4 or 5 on appeal. That's what I believe. That's what Ben Roethlisberger got. Ben got 6, and I understand. Ben didn't have 22 cases.
Right.
Now Rusty said he believes only, and I disagree with this, but Rusty said in his mind only 3 of the 22 fall under the NFL sexual misconduct policy. I believe all 22 do because
Right.
it's written so vaguely. They can just do whatever they want. Right. But he believes only 3 of the 22 would even fall under that.
Tell us the information that you've seen now
Yeah.
that was previously not in the public view, and tell us everything you can about it. I don't know if you can tell us how you obtained it, or, I mean, I think we could probably discern how you got it, but what do you have? How did, if at all, it change your view of this entire case?
And please feel free to compromise your sources.
I had been told basically since the trade went down that there are discrepancies between some of the testimonies given under oath and some of the allegations that are made. And so I've spent the better part of 2 months trying to get a hold of some of this court testimony. Well, I finally got it this week. I got some of the transcripts.
Of the depositions.
Of the depositions. And listen, I think, as I said at the start of the show, 3 or 4. There's 22. I got 3 or 4. I haven't seen the other 18. So let's make that perfectly clear. I don't know what's in the other 18. But from what I saw, one of the things that I saw, there was a counselor who was, she was a therapist, but by using the word therapist, you then confuse it with massage therapist.
Right.
So she's a counselor / therapist who was treating one of the massage therapists after the incident, and she diagnosed her with complex PTSD based on the incident with Deshaun. And on cross-examination from, it was not Rusty who depositioned her, it was one of his associates, but under cross from the defense attorney, by the end of the deposition, she said, and I have the quote here, "I strongly feel that she was not truthful, fully truthful, in the sessions when I saw her." The counselor said, this was under oath. And then also, it just goes on that she didn't realize that the massage therapist that she was treating had reached out to Deshaun and responded to his text 19 times after the incident, after the alleged incident.
So in other words, she was saying, if you truly were suffering traumatic
complex PTSD or trauma,
why would you then reach out to your accuser
19
or to your
times.
to your abuser?
Respond to him in 19 different text messages.
Now, are you able to say which of the accusers is this one of the 2 that we heard from, or you don't know yet?
I know, but there are names, but
okay. That's
just
understandable.
for legal reasons, I'm not giving
it.
names. And the counselor testified, it certainly doesn't sound like trauma if she's able to talk to him and is willing to do another massage.
Isn't that a bad job by her in her evaluation, though?
Well, but she can only go off of the information that's told to her from the massage therapist. And it's worth noting that when she first took the stand, she said, "I always believe the victim every time. Like I'm here to support my client, and I believe the victim every time."
But
and
in
then
this
by
particular case,
then by the end of the testimony, she said, "Yeah, I don't think she was being very truthful." So I asked Tony Busby about that yesterday when we had him on the show. I was filling in on 92.3, and I brought this up to him, and Tony was not very happy with that and said, like, basically, it's a really long quote. I don't want to read the whole quote, but basically he said he was aggravated that Rusty Hardin, the defense attorney, was upset when there was leaked documents earlier on, and now here these are getting leaked. And
well, isn't that turnabout though?
Well, it kind of is, but he said that this was taken out of context, and he said you're only seeing a snippet of it, and I have the entire testimony. It wasn't a snippet.
Well,
I read the entire testimony.
Jason, what's confusing to me, and maybe this is too deep in the woods, but if this woman was her therapist, isn't that privileged conversation?
No, I don't think she was her therapist, or was she a court-appointed therapist who was supposed to give an evaluation?
She was treating the therapist, but she didn't reveal any details of that would violate patient counselor confidentiality.
Did the alleged victim know this woman was going to testify when she spoke to her?
I don't know. I don't have the answer to that.
If you knew the woman was going to, why would you lie if you know this woman's going to testify? That's kind of weird.
And there were other inconsistencies with some of the other cases. Wow. There was a woman who said that she was forced to perform oral sex on Deshaun, and in her testimony she said that he never put his hand on her head, he just sort of guided her. And the question was, well, how can he guide you if he's not touching you? Yeah. So there was some confusion over that.
And then I think the word coerced.
There's a difference in the word coerced.
In that example.
Yeah, there's a difference in the word
coerced. Doesn't mean physical force.
Coerced doesn't mean force. They have very different meanings.
Sure.
And Tony Busby's, when I asked him about it yesterday, Tony said there's very different meaning between coerced and forced. We never alleged force. We alleged coercion. Yet the word force appears 3 times in her statement to the court.
Jason, let me ask you this question. In your investigation or the documents you saw, were there anything about individuals asking for payment or money?
No, there was not in what I reviewed. There's reports out there that there was a woman earlier on who was seeking a settlement early on, but in the documents that I reviewed, there was no that I saw. I didn't see anything about a settlement. And I just want to be clear on that one. She said it was a gesture. It wasn't that he put his hand on her head.
Right.
It was more of a gesture. And listen,
I think Tony said he had put his hand over her head, never touched her head,
and gestured. And,
Yeah.
And a woman could feel forced in theory
for sure.
without actually being physically forced.
Sure.
And I don't want to come on here and make and try and sound like I'm trying to discredit these women. I'm just trying to lay out for everyone, listen, here's the testimony, here were the allegations, and here's the court testimony under oath.
Yeah, it's also very important because I was listening to this yesterday. I think it's very important that we point this out. So, yeah, now we're playing the media game where I think Tony released some things and he made his clients available to HBO Real Sports. And I think now from his office, Rusty was like, if you want to play hardball, I'll play hardball. Then there's more leaks that follow. I think it's very important to point out that it was interesting to me that you saw the you saw deposition testimony of 3 or 4.
Mm-hmm.
Do we know how many women were deposed in total?
I don't think they're done yet because one of them just occurred 3 days ago. One of them that I got just happened this week, just a few days ago.
So do you know?
So it's still ongoing.
The stuff that you've seen, is that all of the transcribed depositions that have been done, or have there been depositions that have been completed that weren't
for
given
sure.
to you?
Yeah, I'm sure that there are depositions.
That's somewhat troubling to me.
Totally agree. Yeah, I don't have all of them.
Right.
And I don't know what's in the ones I don't have,
And you strategically
obviously.
got the ones you got because it helps Deshaun's
Absolutely.
side.
And I'll mention one more thing. As somebody who has a minor in psychology from Kent State University.
You're qualified on this show then.
I don't, and I know that you guys already know this, but the fact that she was in contact with her alleged assailant afterwards doesn't necessarily mean that it didn't happen. That's very common in trauma victims.
Sure.
Just because you maintain a relationship with somebody afterwards doesn't necessarily mean that it didn't happen. The person's not a bad person. How many bad relationships do you know that you wish your friends would have gotten out of, but they just couldn't get out of?
Well, I think they addressed that in the Real Sports expose because the second accuser, and I'm sorry I don't remember her name, but the second one they introduced to us in the piece, she had made the point of saying, because Soledad confronted her about, well, you were in contact with him after, and she said, yes, I was, but I was afraid of what he might do. He's a powerful guy.
Right.
He could kill my business in Houston if he wanted to. And they talked about, look, you're a professional and you have a reputation and I'm a professional and I have a reputation.
Yeah, it was gross. It was very mafia-like.
Yeah, if that truly happened, that is very, very slimy.
It's intimidating.
But I
for
also
sure.
think that I can see how a victim would, I'd say string along, but I think her words was like giving him the runaround or whatever she said. Yeah, I was communicating with him, but I never saw him again.
Right.
And I could have, but I was just putting him off, I think is what she said. Putting him off. I can easily see how a victim would do that to one of their abusers.
In the end, guys, we're never going to get the whole story. Only Deshaun Watson and these women know what happened. It's as I said yesterday, it's entirely possible, at least in some of these cases, that the woman didn't want to do it. Deshaun didn't force her, but she maybe felt pressure to do it and did it anyway. That's possible.
Absolutely.
And I know some people will say, well, it can't be that. Either he forced her or she did it on.
No.
There is a gray area where she felt forced and he didn't realize it. I'm not saying that happened. I'm not saying it happened in every case. I'm saying in some of these cases, it wouldn't shock me if that happened.
Here's how I felt the entire time. I don't believe Deshaun is blameless. He can stand up there and maintain his innocence all he wants.
Yep.
I don't believe he's blameless in this.
I'm with you.
But I don't believe that he is what he has been portrayed to be in some circles either.
Yeah, I find it hard just based on the person that he is and the people that I know, that I've talked to, that know him well. I can't imagine that, and you don't know everybody, but I find it very out of character from the things that I've heard that he would force himself on someone, that he would physically or otherwise force himself. But to your point, I think you're right. I don't think he's without blame here. I think somewhere in the middle of these ugly accusations and a complete denial of doing anything wrong is where the truth lies. And how it plays out is anybody's guess. I really wanted to get your thoughts on what the suspension was, because I think that's in range what everybody who has followed this sort of thing with the league for years has said is going to happen, somewhere between 4 and 8.
I can tell you the Browns, as it's been relayed to me, the Browns are cautiously optimistic that it's not going to be something that derails their season. Now, what are they basing that on? I don't know.
Right.
But I've heard that over and
Does
over.
8 derail the season?
I think anything more than half derails the season.
Yeah, I would agree. I think 8's right on
And
that.
8 now.
I don't think they're going to the playoffs if he's suspended for 8 games.
I don't either. Jason, do you think that we're going to have word on this when?
By the start of training camp.
That's the hope, I think, for everybody.
And the Browns are confident that they'll have resolution to this by the start of training camp.
Let me just say this something. If any young people out there, you're an athlete, listen, man, you gotta understand, you different. You're not a regular person. So when people say to you, oh, you're just a regular guy like the rest of us. No, you're not. You have everything to lose. When you're on social media and people get in your DM, out of here. We're not messing. Keep your circle close. Don't meet people on Instagram. Don't give. People say, well, I want to feel like I'm still giving people a shot. I want to. No. Listen, you open yourself up. You could be a target. You could be people can set you up. Not saying this happened in this situation. Where Deshaun Watson, where I agree with you at, is the premise of, listen, man, you put yourself in a horrible situation when you could have been right at the team facility. Anything you need on your body,
and to be clear,
get it at the team facility.
He reached out to a lot of these women on social media.
Thank
so
you.
In your scenario, you're saying,
All the
guys,
above.
be careful.
Be
in
careful.
his case, he was
thirsty.
soliciting.
Quite
he was
thirsty.
very thirsty.
Stop jumping in the DMs. Don't behave.
There's no debate that he used bad judgment. in the
Yes,
last
I think
game.
that's
No debate
very
on
clear.
that.
But to your point, and Jason, you know this, when the rookies are drafted and they all come into the league, they go through a rookie symposium.
Symposium, yep.
And they bring, they role play. They bring in people from the outside that have run scams on NFL players.
That's a great job somebody
And
has,
have
by the way.
ensnared NFL players. And what the whole idea is to make them aware of the pitfalls of the life you're about to step into. Because it's one thing to be a big-time player at Ohio State, but now you're paid.
Yeah.
Now you have something that a lot of people want. And so they preach this at the symposium. The players hear this ad nauseum. But what you're asking young 21, 22-year-old kids
Idiots.
to do is to uncheck the box of one
Who
of the
isn't an
fringe
idiot
benefits
when
of
you're
fame.
20?
And they're not quick to do that.
Yeah.
They understand that logically that makes perfect sense. But then when it comes to being practical and applying that and they go into the real world, they're like, wait, I've worked my whole life to have money and fame, and now you're telling me to leave the fame part of it on the side? Mm-hmm. They all hear it. So few of them follow that advice.
The
Jason,
good news
you're nodding
is,
your head.
Oh,
true.
yeah. It's 100% true.
The good news, though, Cleveland, is Jacoby Brissett, perfect gentleman. Walks the lady up to her porch at the end of the date, says, good night, my lady, and then just walks back to the car. He's going to be fine. He's there for you.
All right, this is such a. I think we need to move on to David Njoku.
Yeah, let's go to Njoku.
Because I don't understand, guys, why the Browns would give him a contract extension. I don't get it. I think.
Well, they haven't.
Well,
but the reports are, set it up this way. The reports are they're going to give him a $13 million a year extension.
I was surprised they actually put him on the franchise tag, to be honest. I think he's just a guy at tight end. He's a tremendous athlete. He has never been a great player. He's frankly been a below average tight end in the first 4 years
I'm
of
okay
his
with
career.
the franchise tag.
I
don't want it, but I don't
why
want an
would you give
extension
him an
that makes
extension?
it would make him in the top 5 highest paid tight ends in football.
There were like 3 or 4 tight ends worth a lot of money.
Well,
and
that's
he's not
the
one of
thing.
them.
This is a supply and demand issue.
Right.
There's just not a lot of very good tight
Yeah,
ends.
but Jason,
I
I
would not.
But he's
expect-
had 5 years to prove that he's in that elite group, and to me, he has not
the
done that.
Bengals tight end last year, C.J. Uzomah, just signed with the Jets. Like, David Njoku's not any better than C.J. Uzomah. He's not. They're in the same group.
But Stefanski values tight end. So if you
So go
value
get another tight end. I don't have to pay $13 million a year to.
Well, he might like his skill set. Here's the thing: David Njoku is not garbage. Let's be
didn't say
clear.
he was garbage.
I
I
mean,
agree.
he has a skill set. He's fast. He can get the ball. He
can't hold the ball.
He's had a lot of key
Just
drops
don't hit him
and
in the
big
hands.
moments.
Just don't hit him in the hands.
I
Throw
take-
it 6 feet over his head. That's why Baker liked him so much.
I will say this: his value increased the second Deshaun Watson got on the team. So all your little small receivers and the receivers that don't really do anything, just think how they do with Aaron Rodgers. They go there and play with Aaron Rodgers, they're great.
But I'm not giving him an extension now. He's back. Let's see it. If he has a good year this year, okay, then I'll give him a big contract next year.
Well, to your point, Bull, because sometimes in sports, stats are meaningless. Sometimes they tell a story.
Yeah.
First, Njoku is not currently a top 5 paid tight end.
It shouldn't be.
They are George Kittle, Travis Kelce, Dallas Goedert, and Mark Andrews. If we can,
those guys are elite. Well, Goddard's not, but the other three
I
guys
think
are elite.
I think he's very good.
He's very good.
I
and
think
he's certainly better than Njoku.
I would take 3 of those 4 with
Mark
Dallas
Andrews
out of
is
it.
now the best tight end in football.
I think he's,
and then Kelce and Kittle after him.
I still take. I
I'll
like
give me
Kittle.
Kelce.
I
Give
like
me
all 3 of
Kelce.
them. I think they're interchangeable.
No team.
guys,
I'm telling you, every team in the NFL would take Andrews over the other guy.
So Kittle's been.
Kittle's great,
We took
but
their
injury
5
prone.
years in the league.
Yeah.
And here's their averages. Now you're going to put this guy in Kittle's neighborhood because Kittle makes, I think, $14 million a year is what he's scheduled to make next season.
Yeah.
Njoku's going to be at 13. Look at these numbers. These are the average season numbers for 5 years. Kittle has had twice the receptions, more than twice the receptions, more than twice the yards. The only thing that's different is Njoku does score touchdowns. He's averaging 3 in his 5 seasons. He's got 15. In
Led the
Kittle's
team
5
last
season,
year,
he has 20.
interestingly.
I know, and that's the thing because Stefanski loves throwing it to him. But when you put these numbers up, this is the back of the football card. This is what his production is. I just don't see how you can
look
pay
how much fewer, how they're not throwing to him that much. I mean, I think that his numbers will
So
be
why
better.
would you pay that much money for a guy you're not throwing to?
Clear Hooper out of there.
Well, actually, to be truthful, the reason he has those numbers is who's your quarterback?
Right.
That's part of the G.
Hold on.
that.
Let me give you that. Let me give you this.
Who's the
Hold
famous
up.
Mayfield put a
quarterback?
lot of
He's that
footballs
good
on his
either.
hands that hit the grass.
Jimmy
has-
G's better than Baker, but it's not significant,
No,
substantial.
They're same level quarterback.
Listen, here's
Jimmy's
the thing.
better. Jimmy's better.
They're the same
Jimmy,
guy, I
Jimmy
think.
G is better.
I don't agree, but
Oh, okay, whatever.
He's not significantly better.
The case being is,
Yeah.
you just saw what Odell Beckham Jr. did on another team.
That's what Matthew Stafford.
But I'm saying, do you think? I think David
but
Njoku with
Odell
a good
Beckham-
quarterback. David Njoku with a good quarterback has comparable numbers to George Kittle.
Yeah, but see, how many drops did Njoku have?
him right
last
in
year?
the hands, he
hit
drops
him
it.
so many times right in the midst, and the ball was on the grass.
Not every quarterback has a tight end put up big numbers.
I didn't say he was the best
Aaron
tight end
Rodgers
in the
hasn't
game.
had a tight end put up big numbers in a long time.
Also, if you take the numbers from Hooper and you give them to Njoku because you have 3 tight ends rotating, his numbers are better.
My point is that I like Njoku a lot coming out of college. I agree he has a skill set. He's an interesting talent. He's a great athlete. Tight ends do take time to develop, and he was younger when he got drafted, which is why in the end, even though I was a little surprised they gave him the franchise tag, I was like, okay, let's give him one shot with Deshaun Watson.
That's what I liked
But
about
on
it.
no way, he has done nothing through 4 years that would make me want to give him an extension.
So just
I
tag
agree.
him
Nothing.
and
Tag him and
let
if
him
he
play
does
the
no
other
job
tag.
this
Pay him.
year, then I pay him.
pay him way more next year if he does the job. this year.
All depends on what they want to give him. I want to see what the
At
contract
this
is.
point in his career, David Njoku is at best an average player in the league.
Yeah.
At best.
I'm with you. I think
To
he's
this
middle of
point,
the road tight
he
end
could
with a
be
lot
better.
of upside,
Upside.
and a
He
lot
could
of
pop.
potential. But you know what? You'd go to training camp every year and you'd see this dude without pads, and you're like,
Yeah.
guys, in high school, he high jumped 7 feet.
He's a monster.
That's if you just think about that for a second, that is an amazing athletic
If you
ability.
watch the best tight ends in the league, and because I'm such a fantasy football guy, and I've had Lamar Jackson as my fantasy quarterback for 4 years in a row,
Sure.
I watch the Ravens play as much as I can.
Yeah.
And Mark Andrews, when you
unbelievable.
watch this guy play, he's a superstar.
He is a superstar.
And David Njoku's
and he
not
catches
that.
balls in huge spots. So
Yes.
does Kelce, and so does Kittle.
Yes.
When I think of his career, I do think that he is effective in the red zone. I do.
Sure.
He should be.
Yeah.
But he should be effective anytime he's on that football field.
Has to
Because
be more
just on the
consistent.
look test,
Yeah.
you look at this guy and you're like, wait, are you kidding me? He is the Myles Garrett of offensive players, just with his physique and just the look test. He
Yes.
looks like he should
Yes,
be
no
all
doubt.
world.
Well, the
But
catch-
he's
the-
never been that player.
The touchdown catch he had against the Chargers was catch in the
Unreal.
middle of the field. Fantastic play to make
Yeah.
the grab. That's the tantalizing that you know is in there.
And that's what we should see every time.
But it's just not consistent.
It's almost
not.
like if he has too much time to think about it, he drops the ball.
if you hit
right?
him in the hands, he drops it.
Yeah.
Throw it 6
It's the
feet over
Mackey
his head and catches
Sexton.
it.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
He drops a considerable amount of footballs.
And you know what?
And that's his defense
If I'm
attorney
gonna make
talking.
it-
Exactly.
Yeah. So, Your Honor, if you say about a guy whose main job it is to catch the football,
He has to block,
that
too.
I
Yes,
get that,
he has
and
to
he
block,
does a
too.
great job in that.
There you go.
But
He
here's
does.
the thing: I need my entree to be good, and I need my dessert to be good.
Nobody
and I
thinks
can't
Njoku-
say about a tight end that I'm going
Right.
to make the 5th highest paid tight end long
happen.
term in the NFL that he does drop a considerable amount of footballs.
You just spent a ton of money on Hooper, who production-wise in Atlanta was much better than Njoku was here,
But
and
God,
he stunk.
It wasn't that.
And he stunk.
The whole time I was watching Hooper, I'm like, Where's the real Austin Hooper?
Yeah,
Who's
I don't
this
know what
guy?
happened to him.
Again, I'm not
He
paying a
looked
ton
like
of
he
money.
couldn't
Every time he
run.
catches, he falls down.
I know it. I mean, and sometimes before
It's
he catches.
crazy.
And I'm watching this guy going, either this is the single best example of a player getting old early, overnight, or he's been kidnapped and somebody's playing the part of Austin Hooper and we haven't caught on
Well,
to it
and
yet.
part of it too is G's point. He was playing with Matt Ryan in his prime. Matt Ryan was a really good quarterback. He's okay now,
But I never saw Hooper fall down from turf gremlins every other play.
That was weird.
When he was playing in Atlanta.
3rd and 4, they'd run a 3-yard out
And
and
I
fall down.
agree with G
was
that Baker
unbelievable.
factors in because Baker's not that good, but
So
you can't put it on
you
Baker.
wouldn't do this. I clearly
chance I'm
wouldn't
giving
do
him
it.
an extension.
Mike,
No
you
chance.
would? You would?
I got to see the numbers. I mean, if those numbers are realistic.
I didn't make those up.
All right. Well,
I mean, if it's
that's not
13
real though.
million-
Those are rumored, right? Like that's not really what's happening.
Why?
That was sworn
What is
testimony
the,
numbers.
Why would you pay him right now?
So let me
You
give
don't
you this.
have to pay him.
What
I'm
if it's
with
the
you.
opportunity cost? You're out, right now. You
Yeah.
got him at $13 million. If he has a good year with Deshaun Watson,
What's it gonna be?
It's going to
gonna-
be 15, 16,
Roll the dice.
17 million.
Roll the dice.
well,
It could be because
unless
we know,
he put it up an all-pro season.
But Bull, to Jason's first point,
Yeah.
you're talking about a commodity that isn't falling out of the sky.
Tight
And
ends.
what
I
kind of
think the
season are
tight
you
end-
talking about? If he has 700
Eight-
yards,
eight-
And you know what?
800
Hey.
yards, 8
I
touchdowns.
don't
If
think
he
he's getting
does,
paid that
if
much
he
money.
does,
I
I'll
really
help
don't.
Jimmy write the check.
And in the end, if you have to pay him $2 more million a year, rather than if he stinks this year and we're getting rid of him, I'd rather pay the extra $2 million.
But here's the
next year.
thing:
You convinced me.
will they have the space for $2 million a
The
year?
cap is
No, that's
yes,
a good question.
But they're going to start running into
But the
cap
cap's gonna
problems
go
next
up.
year.
The TV contracts, the new TV contracts kick in on next year's cap. Plus,
So it's
COVID
going to go
total.
up and it's going to go up expected considerably.
huge.
Well, when Deshaun's full salary kicks in,
Yeah, that's
they're
gonna hurt.
going to have cap problems next year. I don't
Yep.
care how high the cap goes.
That's absolutely
the
right.
cap might go up 30-40 million next year.
They're paying their quarterback 45.
Yeah.
So they're going to have
Right, but they'll let Baker off the books.
starting next season.
Yeah.
They're
Yes.
going to start having cap issues.
Yeah, and they've never had cap. They've never had
Never.
to deal with this
Never.
before. That's the unintended consequence of being a good team.
Yes.
And having a high payroll is all of a sudden you need a capologist to say, guys, J.C. Treader's got to
It's a
go.
good problem to have.
It is
There's
a
always
good problem to
ways figure
have,
it out.
and they'll
Yeah.
figure it out. But I like your point that you know what the price is now. You don't know what the price is if he goes out and has a phenomenal season, and then if he hits the market, who knows what that
It's
number
not
could
like
be.
they got a number 2 receiver. It ain't like you got a bunch of
Well,
you
one
got
might develop.
You got Schwartz, you got young guys.
But
I'll
you
tell you
don't
what.
have him. He's proven nothing.
But he's going to get a lot of targets.
And I'll just throw this out: they are very high on Harrison Bryant, and he's
Yeah,
going to
I
get
like him too.
he's going to get
I
a
like
lot
him
more
too.
I don't know
opportunities
that
this year.
Njoku's going to get so many targets. They got Deshaun's going to spread it around.
Yep.
I mean,
I think he'll get more targets. Than
I
he
just
got
think
before.
they're making a move prematurely that they don't have to
okay.
make. And
Yes.
I'm
if,
convinced.
And if
I give up.
So you've given.
I agree.
Wow.
I say tag him. I'm talking.
well, they already
to him.
tagged
No,
him,
they've
but
tagged him.
they-
Well, yeah,
Which
that's
is
it.
why you don't
Yeah.
have to sign
Right.
him.
He said-
Yeah,
exactly.
no contract.
All right, good bet, bad bet. You wanna
Yeah,
do
let's
that?
pull up the standings. We have something shocking to show you here. Guys,
Uh-oh.
check out Mike Polk.
Oh my
It's
God!
unreal.
I double-checked.
Mike.
This is
know.
accurate.
Yeah.
Wow.
I got that.
you.
I got that journal from Back to the Future
And
too.
Mike, how are you making your picks?
Just,
Eeny, meeny,
I
miny,
go
moe.
from,
Uniform
from here.
colors?
The quarter in
I
his
go
pocket.
from here.
Yeah.
No, I
You do
just,
research. I know you don't.
no, I mean, no, just kind of go with the gut. It won't last. I'll be down to like.
You keep saying that.
Yeah.
but
He's
He's
you're
like
on
the
an
soccer mom at the
incredible-
NCAA tournament.
I am.
Exactly. I like the
Metaphor.
Cougars. I'm going to
Yeah.
pick the Cougars to the title game.
I might be. I think I'm like a Rain Man savant at this. You guys got to get me to Atlantic City.
Yeah, that's when you'll
Make
your,
some
your hot
coin.
streak will end.
Yeah.
Okay, what are the games today?
We're going to make this quick. Game 1, Guardians, 1.5 run underdogs at Detroit. We had some differences here, and the leader, Mike Polk, is teaming up with Jay.
I feel very. I'm glad that I'm on your
Yeah,
side.
you want to be on this team.
You guys are going to lay a run and a half with the Tigers?
Yeah, I ain't
As
doing
bad
that.
as the
man.
Guardians
Who's
have
pitching
been?
tonight? Scooble?
Yes, he is.
He's
and he's been
dynamite.
phenomenal.
He's
His stuff
dynamite.
is great. He's got a great
The
ERA,
Guardians
but his
lineup
stuff
is
matches.
a disaster right now.
What's
I
that?
agree, but I'm never going to lay a run with the Tigers.
Particularly against
Even if-
left-handed
yeah.
pitchers, though, from what I saw.
They split with the
Guardians.
Tigers in their
I
last
hear
series.
ya, but
and looked terrible. I
Yeah.
thought. Okay, what's next?
Yeah.
Over 7.5 runs tonight in said Guardians-Tigers game.
I'm the only one.
You're the only one.
Yep.
Over
Wow.
7.5.
I
guys
think,
are
I think,
screwed.
I think we're
Well,
gonna get.
I mean, these
I think he's gonna get
offenses are
shelled.
in par with Bulls' Little League team. I mean,
I think my Little League team's got a better offense.
you might be scoring more runs a game.
Yeah.
Okay, third one.
Third one, Game 5, Golden State, Dallas. Warriors 7-point favorites.
Jay's the loner there.
Yeah,
Jay's a loner.
I am.
The dagger threes are coming.
They're dead in the water.
Bang!
I think Dallas is dead in the
Yeah,
water.
losing two in a
Steph
row.
Curry
I told you.
Well, I guess
at
they're
home
winning.
in Golden State.
No, this game's in Dallas.
Oh, it's in Dallas?
No.
No, it's in Golden
Golden
State.
State.
I still don't.
No, I'm saying
I think
Golden State's
7
not going to lose 2 in a row, but they could win and not cover.
and that's what I think is going to happen. I think they are going to win. 7 points is
15.
big after the way they looked last time.
15.
Okay, 15. I was big time wrong on the under and over yesterday in
I
the
was too. I
Celtics Heat
took
game.
AL.
Yeah, we
Shout
should have
out
listened to
Tyvus.
Tyvus.
Yeah.
Tyvus
Called it
nailed it,
perfectly.
and he was emphatic. You guys are nuts.
And
I
we
don't
weren't
know
even
what game
close.
you're watching.
It wasn't
No,
even close.
It wasn't. I looked at the score of that in the third quarter, and I'm like,
Yeah.
that's a Nell. I don't know what was going on.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to take a break. When we come back, I know we called some audibles here. Are we still going to do Judge Jay?
Yeah, we're going to do Judge Jay.
I got to
We're
get
gonna
into
fix the
costume
Pro
then.
Bowl.
Okay.
Yeah, Jay, go start getting dressed. I'll take
I
us
will.
to break.
Yep, take us to break, Mikey.
Yeah, we're going to tease the Pro Bowl, fix the Pro Bowl, and then I'm going to make Jay, Bull, and Jason pretty mad with my most exciting baseball moment. So we'll be right back in about 2.5 minutes.
I can already hear.
Cleveland sports to me is bigger than anything. It's bigger than some people's marriages. They say the Dallas Cowboys are America's team. No. Dallas is not America's team. Cleveland is America's team. And sports in Cleveland is a religion. It's a way of life. It doesn't matter where you're from. It doesn't matter how much money you make. It doesn't matter. Sports is a way for people in Cleveland to get together, and it's something that can't be replicated in Cleveland. Sports is a thing.
Recognize that feeling? It is the feeling of being together, enjoying the company of a familiar face, and sharing moments that matter to you, to me, to us. What matters to some could impact all of us, especially in a place like Northeast Ohio. Here, stories are shared from east to west to south. Stories of perseverance, of family, of love. If a story brings us together, it's what matters most.
News you can trust should be news you can rely on.
And every night at 11 on What's Next, you can rely on us.
A new legal twist for Brown.
Today also marks the beginning of ODOT
Here, and we are going to continue.
So the Guardians have to play almost. You can rely on us to help you go to bed better informed with stories that prepare you for tomorrow.
And with news that's relevant to your life. We'll make sure that you're ready for what's next.
Because being ready for tomorrow is what matters most.
Hi, my name is Jay Crawford. I am a lifelong Cleveland sports fan. I have carried my fandom every city I've ever lived in. People have always asked me, why are you so diehard about Cleveland? It's because I'm from here. And we know how much our teams mean to us. Most of us know that because of our parents. In my case, my father was just a huge Cleveland sports fan. It was really part of our life. It was woven into everything we did. And it was our connection throughout his life. What sucks is every week I'm reminded how itchy this thing is.
Yeah, you really should consider investing in something a little less that.
Can you find one for me? You're like the king of props.
Sure, I'll work on that.
Welcome back to the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. I'm heavy with the
very
guests.
loud.
Jay.
By the way, Jay looks like, if you've ever seen the movie, it was originally a Broadway musical called 1776. Has anybody seen this?
I haven't, no.
There was, you were my only hope
I know.
really on this day.
I'm sorry, man.
Didn't see it.
I don't have your back.
You're the only dork on the panel right now.
They made a movie of it years ago, and if you just you Google the movie, and Jay looks like one of the characters.
I think the costume's getting worse as like the show goes on.
That was the
It really
intention.
is? Okay.
When I added the wig, I knew it was going to go over the top. I think what I should do though is I gotta cover my eyebrows because my eyebrows are dark.
That's the problem.
that's
That's why it looks.
Now that's the look I'm going.
That's why it looks silly.
That's
This
beautiful.
is much better.
Bree, what are you laughing at over there?
Just bleach your
Holding you in
eyebrows
contempt,
white.
young lady.
Just bleach your eyebrows
He
white.
got that interview with the vampire on right
Bro,
now.
I'm not that into it. Okay, here's what we're doing. We're gonna fix the Pro Bowl.
Oh, thank God, someone will.
I have on this clipboard the winning formula.
Oh, good.
All right.
It's up to you guys to convince me I'm wrong.
So
And I'm telling you, when you hear my plan, I think everybody's going to buy it.
Right.
I spent a lot of time on this last night. In fact, too much time. So, Mikey, what is you go ahead and read the docket as to what the case. Oh, by the way, I know you've been sworn. I've read your
We've all
complaints.
been sworn.
That has particular interest.
Wapner?
Yeah. Good catch. Okay, go ahead, Mikey.
Let's pull up 68, Steve. This is the question on the docket today. The NFL is considering eliminating the Pro Bowl and replacing it with a different event. If you were Commissioner Goodell, what event would you replace the Pro Bowl with?
Adam, you begin.
I would. Well, first of all, you suggested yesterday Battle of the Network Stars, which I love.
That's
Yes.
great.
But
Yep,
which
love it.
would be a great idea.
And that's
Fantastic.
kind of
I
my
love
plan
it.
today. But
And you have every NFL team represented
Right.
in all these different events. if you actually want to play some sort of football game, then make it a flag football game. I know it sounds a little lame. I actually think that would be cool to see the guys with no uniforms. You'd see their faces, and nobody, they'd actually play harder because nobody's going to get. I mean, I guess you could.
Well, they used to do that. They used to play a sand flag football game until it was. I think his last name was Edwards. He was a rookie running back for the Patriots.
Right?
Ended his career.
Yeah.
He had like one of those colossal.
You don't want to play on the sand.
When I heard that, I'm like, so who came up with that idea?
Yeah.
Who co-signed it and who approved it?
Play either on grass or as we used
Sand?
to do in Brooklyn back in the day, you play football on concrete.
I don't want to see that.
But that's what we used to do. Although I did dislocate my shoulder once, and I'd like to see a dodgeball match too.
Ooh, dodgeball.
I think don't they do a dodgeball? I watched a dodgeball.
That is not creative. They already do it.
Yep, they already do
really?
it.
I didn't realize it.
At the Pro Bowl
That's
week.
my bad. Maybe that's why I thought of it.
Stricken
Sorry.
from the record.
Yeah.
Old idea. Old
That's
idea.
true.
Mike
Bad
Polk.
job out of me.
Okay, I have a few ideas. First of all, I was thinking, just for my own edification, I think it'd be funny to watch them do a spelling bee. I just want to see the look on Gronk's face when somebody says picturesque. Spell the word picturesque. He's like,
you use that in a sentence?
I retire again. That would be my first one I would like to see. Second one, I really think that we should consider doing an escape room situation. Wouldn't you like to watch those guys compete in like escape rooms? And they like for their whoever gets out faster, like that, they get more money for their charity, something like that.
Okay.
Where watching them plan and stuff like that would be
I'm
interesting.
probably not going to cancel any other plans on my weekend to watch that.
I understand. Last one. Everybody gets together for every year, the best of the best, and they make like some newer version of the Super Bowl Shuffle, like a music video type thing.
So we can finally purge the old one from
Yes, but
all
not
eternity.
not that song, like something like that. And get like
How about We Are the World?
That's fine, but like a real director, get Michael Mann to direct it or something like that. If he's still alive, and then do a video like of them, because I think that would be fun to pass around and
Wait,
stuff
Michael
like that.
Mann's still alive?
I don't know. I'm asking.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I just assume. I
Unless
hope
you
so.
heard something that I did.
No. I hope he is.
Yeah,
But
no.
those are my ideas.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jason?
I spent 18 minutes on my drive into downtown today thinking about this.
Perfect.
I would hold it in Orlando, go down to Wide World of Sports,
Okay.
and you have them do a long drive contest in golf, have them do a home run derby in baseball.
Nice.
Have them do a wipeout style obstacle course with the big balls where you can knock them off. I don't think they would get hurt doing that. Or an American Ninja Warrior style course and see if like the defensive ends can do like the rope
I
climb
like
and
where
all
you're
that.
going with this.
And you have a point system that you just make up.
Three-point shootout, maybe?
3-point shootout, that was the other
Getting
one.
very close to mine.
And
I like it already.
and then you just make up the points as you go, and then you crown a winner, and they send a check to charity.
I love it.
See, I intentionally keeping mine so that they don't involve physical, like so that you can't get hurt. I think that's
They're
important.
playing football right now.
I know, but you don't want to lose your star wide receiver because he slipped off of like some what's the Japanese game show thing again?
Yeah, Wipeout.
Like Wipeout, where
Yeah.
he falls off. That's an embarrassing.
There's
way to
some
lose.
I thought you meant the one.
Hey,
I thought you meant the Netflix show where they get shot.
Oh no, not that one.
Yeah, let's not go
That
that
might
far.
be a little
Squid Game,
aggressive.
great
Squid
show.
Game.
Squid Game.
If
Yeah,
you
let's
wanna
not go
have fun,
Squid
go
Game.
to YouTube and Google best Wipeout show.
Oh man.
Sure.
There's some folks that got disaster so
Yeah.
bad they didn't put it on the show.
I don't need to see Nick Chubb taking a tumble off of one of those.
Yeah.
Okay,
I don't
so
know.
let's see Myles Garrett run the American Ninja Warrior course. I think that'd be
I
fun.
would pay to see that. G. Bush, you're on the clock.
Man, listen, I had something sort of this guy. I mean, I was just gonna say, look, man, if you're gonna do Pro Bowl, get all the Pro Bowlers, and I just want to have them be American gladiators.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna just have
Ice and
Miles
Nitro,
Garrett being
Hercules,
Joust,
Malibu.
and all them dudes, and then you get regular people, regular civilians that come in and go
Pros
against.
versus Joes.
Pros versus Joes.
Oh,
and
my.
you get regular fans that would come in and go against some of the guys at the American
Imagine
Gladiators.
getting hit with a
celebrities.
joust by Myles Garrett.
Oh,
What if
my
it was
God.
like Miles
or the cage
getting hit-
ball?
What if it's like Miles Garrett and a Browns fan versus the Great Gazoo, aka Mason Rudolph, and a Steelers fan?
Oh yeah.
I like that.
Yep.
I like going against teams.
Playoff
I like
rivalries.
the teams and rivalries. I like all that stuff, man. American Gladiators was dope. I would love to see how many of them could like really go on the ropes and hang through like with the rings, and I just would like to see them do it. But here's the thing. I don't know if the American Gladiators will let them get that off.
No, you
Well,
think
why
so?
not? Hell,
What are they doing with it?
What are
right
they
now?
doing these days?
Bumping
You know?
up.
Let's get back on the news cycle.
They're all probably dead from steroids, aren't they?
Oh, they got to be. Malibu's
Mike,
got to be dead for 10
Mike,
years.
do you have a plan?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm a little younger than you guys, so I'm going to bring some modern day flair. Let's do Beer Olympics. with the AFC.
Yeah, because we never
and
thought
the
of drinking
NFC.
beer back in our day.
You were drinking.
all
We
the
never
drinking
drank beer.
beer.
What's
We had
going on?
moonshine when
What's
I was
beer
a
that
kid.
you young
No
kids
beers?
There, brother.
I've never seen Jay drink a beer. Never seen G drink a beer.
Oh, Lord.
Never seen Jason drink a beer.
That's because we don't invite you out with us.
That's
I
right.
just like Polk drinking
We
beer.
had a
I
beer
just
at lunch.
met you
We
2
just had
hours.
we had a
Adam
lunch.
doesn't drink.
Go get a 12-pack right now.
And by the way, you have seen me drink a beer because the one time
Oh,
I
that's
drank
actually
was
true.
at that
Wait,
lunch
wait,
we
scratch
went
that
to.
from the record. Jay, I would
Yeah.
like that all scratched from the
Yeah.
record. Everything I said was false.
I want to say right now the witness's credibility has been severely compromised. So anything
I'ma
you
shut
add to
up.
this
I'm
proceeding
going
from
away.
this point
Goodbye.
forward
I'll see you guys
will
top
be
five.
looked at. Yeah, you know what? You're done.
And by the way,
I
Too
hated your
young.
plan.
Too
Drinking
young.
games.
by the
Wow,
way,
who would have thought of
when
that?
Mike was in college, he had to ask permission to all his cohorts if he could drink his beer.
Yeah, embarrassing.
Mike's
times.
29, still
Yeah.
gets carded.
That's actually a fact.
I know it is. Okay. I want to first say I recognize and respect all of your ideas.
Thank you.
Some were more well thought out than
Yes,
others.
definitely.
I spent 18 minutes on mine.
Yeah, well, I spent a long. So here it is, guys. It's a little bit like the Battle of the Network Stars.
Yeah.
It's AFC versus NFC. 5 events. Each team will send a representative for each of the 5 events. So your Browns are going to be represented in all 5, as will all 32 teams. You get maximum television ratings that way because they're watching in Jacksonville.
I see
Because
what
we
you
got a
did.
chance to win something.
I see what you did there.
Okay,
I see
so
that.
I'm TV. I'm thinking number.
Yeah.
I'm thinking rating. So 5 competitions, 16. That's a perfect number because you can have a bracket style tournament with 16 in just about anything. 100-meter dash is the very first event. I want 2 heats of 8 of AFC and 2 heats of 8 in the NFC.
Do you have a PowerPoint we can look at?
I should have done a PowerPoint.
All right, I'm trying to envision it.
Court bailiff, the next time I make an argument, can you get on a PowerPoint for me?
Yeah. All right.
Anthony?
Go
Bree,
on. I like this
Mike?
concept. I'm just having a hard time
Okay.
visualizing it.
I
all.
know. I'm trying to be as descriptive as I
Yeah,
can.
go ahead.
Help me out here.
Please.
So it's 2 heats of 8 in the AFC. So all, AFC North, AFC East, put their fastest guys out, run.
Mm-hmm.
Top 2 guys go to the semifinals.
Finally, a use for Anthony Schwartz.
Finally. I like our chances of this, by the way.
Damn.
So you have 2
real?
8-man heats. The AFC get their best 4. The NFC get their best 4. You run in the finals all 8. Whichever man wins, that conference gets 7 points. Losing conference gets 3. See what I did there?
Yeah.
Touchdown, field goal.
Okay, great.
Competition number 2, free throw competition.
Look how
It
detailed
could,
that
I
is.
could be talked in to a 3-point.
Look how detailed that
You know,
is.
that's very sneaky. That's like when they take pictures of Biden's notes
I
at
just
the
picture you
podium.
working that last night, and your wife being like, "Come to bed. Stop pretending to be in
was
charge of the
midnight.
Pro Bowl."
hold
It was
on,
midnight
hold
last
on.
night, and she
Hold
literally
on.
said,
They
"What are
come to
you
bed.
working on?"
Are you still up?
You still
You
fantasizing
know
about
I'm
a new
still
Pro
up.
Bowl out
I'm
there?
fixing the NFL's Pro Bowl problem. Go back
I have
to sleep.
ADD. I stopped listening 3.5 minutes
I know.
ago.
I saw you zone out.
Just
It's because
my
he
eyes are in
keeps
the back of my
interrupting
head.
me.
I'm sorry. Go on.
5 competitions, 100-meter dash, free throw competition, but it could be a 3-point.
Sure.
Either free throw
You're
or
flexible
3-point.
on that.
Home run derby,
Wow.
a field goal contest, non-kickers only.
I'm going to
Man.
do some work. Just tell me when
These
it's
guys-
done.
Jason, this
busy.
is incredibly rude.
It is.
When you're in my
Contempt.
court,
That's
I
contempt.
demand you pay attention to
That's
me.
contempt, Your Honor.
Okay, it is contempt, and I'm really close
Yeah,
here.
I'm
Throwing his
fine.
ass out of the courtroom.
I'm fine.
Okay.
I'm
Our
fine.
bailiff has COVID, or else he'd come and throw
Hey,
you
guys,
out of here.
don't you want to watch a field goal kicking contest with non-kickers?
That's the one I don't like. I like the rest of
Oh
them.
my! Are you kidding me?
That's
You
the
don't
only one I
love
don't
when
like.
the shortstop comes in to pitch?
Not really.
You're a curmudgeon.
I like it. I think it's fun. I think it's fun.
I can't take my eyes off of
I
it.
love it. I love when
And
they,
I secretly,
But
I
field
hate to
goals
say
are
this.
boring compared to it. I'd rather see an infielder pitch than a.
I want to
than a
see
fat guy
Myles
kick.
Garrett kick a field goal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Remember when Ndamukong Suh had to kick field goals? That was
Yes.
the best.
Loved it. And then a football throw, where they throw footballs from the 30-yard line. The trash can is in the end zone. Non-quarterbacks.
Okay.
I once watched Warren Sapp put 4 out of 5
Yeah.
in a trash can from the 30-yard line.
Who else can say that?
I like
Who
4
else
out
can
of
say
your
that?
5 events. I would vote for 4 out of the 5.
Well,
I just don't like the kick.
I'm hitting on more cylinders than you did.
Right.
So, again, you win the competition, your team
Yeah.
gets 7, you lose, you get 3. You can break this up into a 3-hour
would love it.
made-for-TV event, and I think, and I might throw something in, Jason, even though you're incredibly rude to the court.
What?
I did like your long drive competition. I think I may
toss it in.
replace The free throw competition, because that's kind of boring.
Yeah, it's boring.
I do want to watch Myles Garrett punish a golf ball, even if it goes 40 yards off.
And someone will be real bad.
We could have some Barkley
I
swings
thought
in there.
about the hockey, but
They're
a
on
lot of
skates,
these dudes
it's
ain't going to
dangerous.
go on
Yeah,
skates.
that's
They're going to
true.
have nothing to do with it. You could really get hurt if you're not.
Yeah, that's true.
If you're not used to it.
That's true.
So free throw competition out, Jason. I give you partial credit for this plan. When the NFL adopts it, I will cut you in on my check.
Put my spelling bee in there too. Why not? Come on.
I
Have fun.
like spelling bee an awful
Yeah,
lot.
put spelling
that
bee.
would be like a train wreck you couldn't
like
turn
I know,
away
it'd be
from.
fun.
Good.
So let's make it 6 competitions: 100-meter dash, long drive competition, home run derby, field goal contest, non-kickers, football accuracy throw, non-quarterbacks, and the spelling bee.
Then Ryan Fitzpatrick gets to go. Whatever team he's on, because he's like the
Yeah,
smartest
right.
guy in the world.
We
He's
got to
like-
put him in there. The Harvard guy.
Yep.
Okay, so that is the plan
There it is.
when they finally sack
How
the Pro
about the
Bowl game.
Oklahoma drill with only kickers?
Ooh.
I'll take that under advisement. I'll get back to you on that. I'll circle back on that. But for right now, so it is said, so it is written, so it will be done. The Pro Bowl,
hope.
when it is finally replaced, because I can't watch
By the way, all
I'd
of
rather
these
watch
things,
gasoline evaporate.
all of these things are better than the Pro Bowl.
Anything
You're
better
right.
than the Pro
And
Bowl.
I think by doing this crazy, silly
Yeah.
argument, we proved our point.
Yes.
The Pro Bowl has to go.
Yep.
Awful.
It's awful.
Hey, hey, ho, ho. The NFL Pro Bowl has got to go.
Yes.
Let's get those shirts made.
That's done. We fixed that problem. Mikey, what's next? Top
Great
5?
job, guys. I really think we made some great recommendations besides me. I'll take the L here, but I'm going to rebound with a great top 5
There we
brought
go,
to
Dow.
us by Roundstone.
Roundstone.
There we go.
Live is
Brownstone,
sponsored by
Brownstone,
Roundstone
Brownstone,
Insurance.
Brownstone.
Roundstone offers a better alternative for affordable quality health care. For more than a decade, Roundstone Insurance has been saving small and mid-sized businesses money. An average of 20%. 20%? That's right. Contact us today to learn how you can get great healthcare benefits that your employees will love and save money too. Shout out to Mike Folk at Roundstone. And today's list is a good one, guys. It is the
That's so good, Mike.
the 5 most exciting plays in baseball, not including walk-offs.
Walk-off home
Walk-offs
run, number 1.
Off the list.
Not including walk-offs.
Not including walk-offs.
including
They're off
walk-offs.
the list. Number 5's when a large man hits a
love it.
triple.
Nothing brings me more joy than watching
Bartolo
that guy.
Colon.
That's a good
Watching
one,
fat guys
but,
run.
Like, there's only like 5 guys like him in base. Like, not
Well,
even.
that's what makes it so exciting. It's
like
rare.
Cecil Fielder, Prince Fielder. Obviously,
Watching Bartolo Colon run
Yeah.
90 yards
Watching
though,
his helmet
without
fall
stopping.
off when he'd swing.
By the way,
it's like a
Bartolo
Hanna-Barbera
Colon used to
cartoon.
be I mean, remember he came into the league.
Listen.
He had tremendous. He's become a meme now.
But he could still pitch when he was fat.
And he
was
didn't
like,
care. He loved
really
it. Yeah,
fat.
he was
Yeah.
good-natured about it too. Like he didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He can eat cheeseburgers.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a competition, a hot dog eating contest. We could throw that in the Pro Bowl.
Why not?
Number 4.
The suicide squeeze.
I love it. Love the suicide squeeze. I
I
would
hate
have had that
bunting,
higher.
but I love the suicide squeeze, so I agree
Yeah.
with that.
I would have had that higher now. I don't want to spoil it. but
almost
go ahead.
never see a
The
suicide.
No, you don't.
The
That's why it's so
difficulty is
exciting.
too
Very
hard.
rare,
I mean, I haven't seen a kid lay down a bunt in years.
We haven't had any bunting in any
Yeah,
of my 5
they don't
games
even
so
Do you
teach it
forbid
anymore.
or no?
We haven't even taught
See?
them bunting.
Yeah.
They're
They
still
don't
learning
teach
how
it.
to hit. They're still learning how to hit.
Major leaguers don't even know how to bunt.
Yeah.
Okay, number 3.
A home run saving catch.
I love those.
Those are fun.
Yeah, those are great. I love them.
They're
Kenny
good,
Lofton
but I feel like
comes
we've
to
seen
mind.
so many in recent years.
Those are
now.
not super rare.
They're not that rare at this point.
But it is.
Yeah.
It does make you stand up, especially
is
if it's
pretty
your
cool,
team that
yeah.
does.
It's
That,
fun.
To this day, the best one I ever saw, Kenny Lofton against the Orioles.
I agree.
Yeah, that was
It
good.
was,
Jacobs
it's, I can still see every second of it in my mind.
Unbelievable.
Griffey had
He was
a
like
couple
went
of them.
Spider-Man on us.
Griff had a couple, but Kenny, I've never
like
seen
that
a human
one.
get as high as Kenny.
Griff
got.
even had one in that movie called Little Big League when the little kid owned the Twins. Remember that movie?
That was staged, just so you know.
Well, that was staged. I know. He did it. Yeah.
Don't ruin it for him.
Play.
We don't
number
know
2.
that.
Let's have a talk about Santa Claus when we're done with this.
I went back and forth between number 1 and 2. The
Okay.
reason this is 2 is sometimes it's not as exciting. Number 1 is always exciting, but number 2, stealing home.
Yeah, that was definitely going to be
Yeah.
on my list. I love it when a guy steals.
Nobody ever. There's never a straight steal of home anymore. It's always, or almost never.
home. It happens very rarely.
I mean,
which again
Jackie
makes it
Robinson
exciting.
used to do it all the time.
Stealing in general in baseball.
It's
used
just
to be
so
more common.
beautifully
You don't get paid for
disrespectful.
stealing.
No,
That's
you
why.
don't.
The only time, really, you see a steal of home is when it's like a double steal situation and they throw to second base with a guy on first.
Yeah.
You almost never see a straight
I saw
steal
one
of home.
recently. It was on TikTok or something, and I don't
Yeah.
know. It looked like a college game.
Right.
It was such a smart play by the runner at third because there was a left-handed or excuse me, it was a right-handed pitcher who was could see the runner.
Right.
But what he was doing, and the runner picked up on this, he would look in for the sign and get the sign, and in his pre-pitch ritual, he would stare down at the ground for like 3 seconds. Mm-hmm. And the guy on third must have seen him do that once or twice, or saw him do it earlier in the game and said, I'm going to take home on this guy if I get on third.
Yeah.
And he goes down like this, and the runner breaks, and the pitcher never even knew. By the time the third baseman yelled he's off or he's going, it was too late. The guy slid into home, and he was safe. So
that's got to hurt as a pitcher, just to watch that happen.
Bro,
it's totally on you.
Anybody ever steal home, Little League?
I have stolen home. I have done more than once.
Come on. Yeah.
40 pounds ago, I was pretty fast.
Of course you still
I was playing in a game about 3 or 4 years ago. I was batting. There was a guy on third. This was one of the smartest things I've ever seen a guy do in a game that I was playing. He heard that the runner was off. Well, he was going from the windup. He was already in the windup. He hit me intentionally. So the runner had to go back. And I pitched too, and I've never seen that done. And he apologized to me immediately. He was like, dude,
where'd he get you?
elbow.
Oh.
The fact that
It could have come up high. I mean, but it was 100%
regular
intentional. And I knew it was intentional.
This isn't bowling.
And I could do nothing but tip my hat to him because I'm like, dude,
Smart
that
play.
was brilliant. Guy had to go back to third, and otherwise it would have been a run. Go ahead.
In case anyone didn't know, Jay pitched once in his life. Okay, number 1.
Twice.
The inside the
Watch
park home
yourself.
run.
You're getting close.
The inside the park home run, never not entertaining, even if it's a terrible defensive play, it's always exciting.
I actually think it's a great list. The only thing I would change, I would replace the home run catch with a triple play.
Yeah.
Because I think it's
Yeah,
more
triple
rare.
play. That's a good call.
Yeah.
Triple
That was
play
number
is-
6. That was the one that didn't make it.
I got to throw this in. Running over the catcher.
You can't do it anymore.
Yeah, they don't.
Well, technically you still can if the catcher is blocking the plate.
Yes.
Yeah.
If he's not, you almost never see
you
it.
almost never see.
Watching
That
those guys
was
get crushed.
That was
one of the
Pete
best
Rose,
things.
Ray Fosse in the All-Star
yeah.
game.
Yes.
Like, wow.
I think we got to throw Don Mattingly blowing up, or not Don Mattingly, the big unit Randy Johnson killing a bird.
That
was
was
one of the most
fantastic.
Yeah.
exciting
Great
things
moment.
I've ever seen in baseball.
And I'm
Where
going to
it
go out on the limb
exploded.
here. And Chris Rose is joining us next. He's a big baseball guy. I'm going to go out on the limb here, and we'll ask Chris if he agrees with me. That will never happen again.
You don't think so?
I don't think so. I mean, do the math on that for a
getting
second.
hit by a baseball?
By a pitch.
Anywhere.
Yeah,
by a little
Particularly a
kid.
95
I
mile
mean,
an
what
hour
are the odds of it
fastball.
ever happening once?
Think it's incalculable.
That was
The
the
odds of that
unluckiest
ever
bird
happening.
of all time.
You are kidding.
That really was.
His family was probably perched up on the press box or something going,
Holy!
Are you kidding me? That just happened? That only happens to legends.
Dennis!
Yeah, what in the world did I just see?
That's kind of morbid.
I mean, aren't you just unlucky if you're a bird, period?
100%.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, but if you're a bird that gets hit by a, I mean,
While Randy
first of all, you
Johnson's
have to be
pitching.
crossing. How
not Phil
many
Necro.
times?
I know
How many times
exactly.
in your fandom have you ever even seen a bird fly between a pitcher and a hitter?
Almost
Right.
never.
One time I've seen it happen.
Yeah.
And he got destroyed.
The bird-
He's a pile of
And they all
feathers
learned
right
their
now.
lesson. They've never done it again.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Word got out in the bird community.
The
Now,
birds
don't
have-
go there.
The
That's
bird's
something
got a
bad happens
PowerPoint
there.
like,
least
see
not
what
what-
happened right here?
Yeah.
Nah, you don't want to do that.
This sounds like the plot of the next Disney movie, right? I mean,
Disney wouldn't make a film like that.
That
Someone-
bird, and one more
Well,
thing.
there's always a bad guy in the Disney movies. It'd be Randy Johnson.
In Randy Johnson's defense, that bird was an idiot. If you can go anywhere if you're a bird, you can fly anywhere in the world. I
Yeah.
mean, you can go anywhere you want, and these guys just like, I'm gonna go
Weren't
cruise
the
past
PETA
home.
people
You know what?
mad at him or something?
Yeah, they were, I
That's
think so.
absurd.
There's
Yeah.
a game of chance that all the kids play. You may have heard this, where someone will tell you, what are the odds that you'll stand up on the table in this college dormitory restaurant and scream something that's very offensive?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and they'll say 1 to 10, and then they'll go 3, 2, 1, 7, and they'll both say the number. And if the number matches, you've got to do what you were challenged to do.
Oh, I've never heard
I'm
that.
wondering if maybe this was a thing in the bird community, and they go, hey, yo, Lester,
Yeah.
what are the chances you, like, tempt fate and
Dare
fly in
you.
front play bird Russian roulette, and you fly in front of a Randy Johnson fastball?
Yep.
1 to 20.
Go
3,
Herschel
2,
Walker
1.
on him,
They
yep.
both said 11. He had to try it.
I've never heard this.
Chances, bro.
Yeah.
I've never
It's
heard
an
this,
idiot-
It's a
bro.
it's
big
an idiotic
thing in the
thing to
young
do.
college
Kinda-
athletic
I
community.
have
Kinda
never
like-
heard this.
Kind of like
start
when,
playing with
when
you on
those
the show.
idiots run on the field,
Yeah.
or if somebody decided to vote for Herschel Walker.
Right.
There you go. Who also played? He played Russian roulette, but with himself.
Yeah,
Herschel
that's
Walker
a
did.
terrible game to play. So we'll do it right now. Do you have a hat
He's
with
good
you
at
today?
it, though.
What are the chances you'll
still
wear
around.
a hat sideways for the rest of the show? Bill off to the side. Now you get to. I made the challenge. You get to decide the parameters. 1 to 5, 1 to 10, 1 to 20.
2.
1 to 2? That's a 50-50 chance.
No, you're supposed to give them the range, not the number.
So you tell me. I'll do a 1 to 20 on that. Or
I see what you're saying.
So you set the parameters. What are they?
I'll say 1 to 25.
Okay, so I'm going to count down 3, 2, 1. We're both going to say the number simultaneously. If you lose, you're down in the cap sideways. You good to go?
Yeah.
Okay. 3, 2, 1, 17. You didn't say the number, bro. Who wins in that?
You gotta say a number.
So hold on. Go again.
Go again. You gotta say a number between 1 and 25.
Don't say 17.
Oh, yeah, right. We're going to use that one.
Okay.
All right.
3, 2, 1,
11.
17. I went there. I thought he might go there. So you win the challenge. You don't have to do it.
Yeah.
This is a big thing amongst
People are
young
doing
college
this.
Why
kids.
would the burden be upon me?
Jay, don't you have to
Don't
dress
you
like a
got
moron
any skin
now?
in the game?
No, here's the way the game works. I
already
issue the
is.
challenge. You can issue the challenge to me, and then it's got to be on me.
Oh, okay. So,
we've never played this game.
No, you haven't.
No.
But I'll tell you, members of your community are
This
playing
is
it.
what college kids are
Brianna,
doing these days?
College kids.
Do we know anything
Yes.
about
They're
we
not
play?
having sex?
I could give you.
Who's doing this stuff?
I could give you a few notable examples where players at the collegiate level did something that you're like, oh my God, why would this be done?
The only two things I cared about in college was having sex and working at the radio station. That's it. And I wasn't getting a lot of sex.
How'd you do on that list?
I did great on the radio part.
Yeah.
I was terrible
Hold
on
on,
the
I am
sex part.
still in Judge J mode, and the court has deemed that is far too much information, irrelevant information that I can't unsee.
Definitely relevant.
I think it's some colorful backstory.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I think you got the nickname Bull.
When the segment is Judge Mike, you can
You're right.
allow
you're right.
that.
I
kind
just
of
think it
discussion.
humanized the
Exactly.
defendant.
So
Who's
do you
not
understand
trying
the
to-
game of chances now?
I
By the
get
way,
in
it. I get
college.
the chances now, but we haven't played. We haven't played.
No, we're old. We don't play it, but the kids are playing it.
Okay.
Trust me. Okay, Chris Rose is on deck. Are we going to break, or you want to bring him in right now? Break. We're going to take a break. Chris Rose on the other side of this break. I doubt he's heard of the game.
Jason's
of chances.
leaving. We got to say goodbye to him.
Jason.
I'm union. I'm
Leaving.
done. I got to go.
All right, Jason, thank you so much
Thanks,
for coming
buddy.
in.
By the way, get a round of applause for Jason.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
A lot
Tremendous.
easier than a 5-hour radio show.
Once upon a time, that was your life. You're going to come back. I have a feeling we're going to see you on a regular basis. I hope.
We'll see.
I hope.
We'll see.
Well done. Yeah, no. Hey, look, talk to my people.
Let my agent handle
Get to
it.
my people. Great stuff. Great information. If you haven't made him part of your regular reading, you need to, because he's absolutely phenomenal. And the investigative stuff he's doing on this Deshaun Watson is great work.
Subscribe to The Athletic, by the way.
Yes,
I did
it's
like
worth it.
a
It
month
is
ago.
worth every penny.
appreciate that.
It is worth every penny. Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
All right,
See you,
Chris
Jason.
Rose on the other side of the break. The Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show is coming right now. Stay with us. Hi, my name is Jay Crawford. I'm a lifelong Cleveland sports fan. My favorite all-time Cleveland sports moment, you're not going to believe this, it was Rajay Davis's home run in Game 7 that tied the score.
My favorite Cleveland sports moment would have to be the Kyrie Irving 2016 shot. It's the only time that I've ever cried over any sporting event.
And my ultimate Cleveland memory is when the Cavs won the championship and the day of the parade. It was one of the greatest experiences I've ever had in my life.
We face challenges every day, some bigger than others, and we never know what's around the corner.
Through the highs and the lows, whatever we face it together. Each morning on Go, we are here with the facts, because what impacts you impacts all of us.
And understanding those facts helps us to make informed decisions for our families, our communities, and our future.
We are here for you every step of the way. Go, weekday mornings, 4:30 to 7 a.m.
What matters most to me is family. Sometimes you don't realize how important it is until you're away from them.
What matters most to Jay? His family. He is a big family man. What matters most to me? My family, my safety, your safety.
I think the thing that most impresses me about Betsy is her versatility. Give her any assignment that involves going in front of a television camera, and she's going to knock it out of the park.
What's new with Betsy and Jay? Weekdays at 5 on 3.
Hey, it's Adam the Bull for the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show, and I'll tell you what I think of when I think of Cleveland sports. It's that everybody loves it. I've been to other parts of the country, and there's people that love sports and people that don't care. But in Cleveland, Everybody cares even a little bit, from every walk of life, and that's what makes this city special. Whether it's football, baseball, or basketball, it doesn't matter. The people of Cleveland and Northeast Ohio love their teams like nowhere else in the country. It's like the show Impractical Jokers. Have you watched that?
A little bit, yeah. A little bit, yeah. I love that show. It's a great show.
But
all right,
welcome
welcome back to The Ultimate Cleveland. I know, I miss him.
We need Joe.
I miss Joe on the Impractical Jokers. That's one of my favorite shows. I don't watch a lot of TV, but I try to watch that when I can.
Show is so funny.
It's a great show. I think we should do a skit. Mike would be so good. I've watched. Have you ever seen Impractical Jokers?
I have. I'm aware of it.
So
do you like it or no?
No, I like it.
Every time I watch
doesn't like it that much.
No, it's all right.
I say to myself, Mike would be so good in a show like that because he's quick.
Yeah.
And he's genuinely
That's nice
funny.
of you to say.
I think he'd kill that show.
We should do that in Cleveland.
As our group,
Yeah,
I
as
think
a group.
we should go out in the field
You want to?
and do an impractical joke. We all
I
have
will
ear
say
pieces.
anything.
Yeah.
I don't know how they ever lose. I'll say anything.
I will too.
Because I get to tell them later that it was
Right.
just a TV show.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's not
So
embarrassing.
even
But
if
you
it's
might
awkward
get
in the
punched in the
moment.
face.
And
You might
now
get
they all
punched in
know
the
the
face.
show too. Like they
Nobody's
now.
gonna I mean, you'd have to. What would you
Some
do
of
if
the
somebody
stuff
punched
they
me in the
make
face?
people do, though.
I could block a punch.
We could do a skit. We could do that.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll go bother anybody at Tower City you want me to.
Go.
Hey, speaking of Mike
I've seen
Polk,
you do it.
Yeah.
while Chris Rose is restarting his computer.
All right.
We see
Oh,
him.
good.
We're just trying to hear him. While
Okay.
we're waiting for that, let's play the Mike Polk, Bernie Kosar.
Oh, that's a great idea.
And we'll troubleshoot
Mike,
Chris while we do this. So
Set it up for us.
Okay, so we talked about this the other day. When I was a kid, I used to go, and obviously Bernie was very formative in all of our lives as people growing up around here, sports fans. And my dad would go to these like dinners where you could meet Bernie Kosar, and he'd just bother Bernie Kosar at these things and
He was
pretend
basically a harasser.
Yeah, and he'd just pretend they were good friends. Like, Bernie, you remember me? And he knew each other, whatever. But my dad was like, he dragged me to these things. And they were fun, but it's also like just this, it was speeches of dudes just saying like, here's what's so important about athletics in the community. And I'm so bored because I'm 11. But you got Coca-Colas and stuff. But I took a great picture with Bernie Kosar that I don't know if we still have it. We probably don't. But it's me, my dad, and Bernie Kosar at one of these. And Jay, I showed you this picture at one point, and you suggested doing a reenactment, which were very popular at the time.
Yes.
Of that picture, only with us grown up.
Recreate that moment in time, that glorious moment in time.
And so we did that for WKYC, and let's take a look at it.
It turned into an adventure that only Mike Polk Jr. could orchestrate.
Gentlemen, thank you so much for being here for this incredibly important project. I'm just going to run through the bullet points with you very quickly so we know what we're doing here today.
We're coachable, by the way.
Oh, I think Bill Belichick would disagree.
Oh, the first Belichick shot fired.
Sick burn. What does it take to bring three local titans like Bernie Kosar, Jay Crawford, and Mike Polk Sr. together like this? It took a picture. This picture. This is the Mike Polk Sr., Mike Polk Jr., Bernie Kosar photo reenactment project. Based on this photo from, I believe, 1991. Dad, do you remember what this event was?
One of Bernie's Tanglewood dinners after a football game.
After every game, we have an event out there, and we do Q&A with our fans and talk about what happened in the previous Sunday's game. The Polk family was a mainstay.
Yes. Let me tell you how this happened. I posted this. Jay texts me that we bring you in for one of these photo reenactments, which are so popular right now.
So you take any picture from the past and then you get the same folks back together and try to get them in as close proximity to the original photo as you can, and then you frame them side by side. I've done them with my kids when they were 6 and 8, and then when they were 16 and 18.
So this was your idea, and you offered to waste Bernie's time with this. Once our mission had been established, the briefing shifted to logistics. Going to the picture itself. So what are our big concerns? First of all, obviously this Bernie shirt, okay? From 1991. This sweater, a big problem, because they don't make this Bugle Boy sweater anymore, it turns out. I hit a couple different thrift stores, and I did the best that I could. Fortunately, my dad let me know that he still has this tie.
That's the last time I wore a tie.
Jay, this is your role. I appreciate the fact that you have agreed to play the role of the guy who's halfway into the shot.
It's going to be some of my best work ever.
Just remember, there are no small parts, only small actors. So now we're just going to get started.
Let's do it.
The moment was finally upon us. It was time to make our vision come to life. Okay, this way. A little more. A little more.
It's like moving a truck. Isn't it?
How we do? All right, Bernie, you ready? Okay, so you're going to be here next to this guy.
Yeah.
Perfect. Remember, just like it was in 1991. Come into the shot here. Everyone do their same kind of look that they were doing. Bernie, you're just kind of like checked out. Like, how much longer is this? Dad, you were legitimately happy to be there and probably had a 6-beer buzz. Okay, yeah. 3, 2, 1. I think we're nailing it. It was then, as we were wrapping a successful photo shoot, that tragedy struck.
Could you have Please tell me you got that.
I think that's a wrap. They say you can't live in the past, and that's true. But that doesn't mean you can't celebrate it and commemorate it by making it a part of the present. This is Mike Polk hanging with the posse for 3 News.
I'm ready.
Number one, did you set that up to fall? Or was that
No,
for accident?
sometimes the universe just smiles on you.
That is awesome.
I was asked that so
Yes.
often that like someone pulled that on Mike, right? And I go, no.
No.
It just
I just
it
didn't
was
put it
the
up very
universe's
well.
way of saying, why are we going back to that
That is
moment?
so great.
Yeah.
And number two, do you know the person whose actual shoulder that was that
No,
Jay was playing?
We have no clue. We actually asked Bernie, though, and he's just like, that could have been. He named like 6 guys. Who, you know,
Was that Dan Fike?
he named.
Does he think it was another player?
No, I think it was like one of the 6 guys who was scamming Bernie at that time, probably. It was,
More than
unfortunately,
6.
Yeah. You know, I really think that was it. And he's just like, so I think I probably brought up some bad stuff.
Yeah.
But thank
Bernie,
you for
if
being
you're
a
watching, we're sorry.
Thank you for being a good sport, Bernie. He was great.
You know, Bernie really, his buy-in on that was great because when I texted him right after you said you'd be down for it, and when I texted him, I'm like, I started it by saying, I get it if you don't want to do it, but there's this picture, and I explained it to him, and like within seconds, he replies back, dude, that would be a blast. I'm in.
Yeah.
And he really, you're right, his buy-in was great.
Same khakis, everything.
A quiet good line in that is when your dad said, it's like moving a truck, right? That was good. It was funny.
Great.
The old man looking all right.
No, he's held up well.
Yeah.
Did you tell him I thought he was dead for some reason?
No, but I'm sure.
Mike is alive and
why
well.
I
I
assumed
love
that.
Mike Sr.
Yeah,
He's
he
awesome.
He wouldn't be insulted.
I
by
guess
it.
it's all my friends my age, but I don't think
I
they're
get
as
it.
old as I am.
I get it.
I think most of my friends' dads are dead at this point.
Yeah, I know.
Well,
But-
no, you still hanging in there, old man.
There you go.
Yeah.
I like what you said Tuesday about him. Cancer came and left once they figured out where it was.
Like, no, thank you.
Yeah, I want nothing to do with this story.
I have limits.
Do we have? I don't even see Mikey McNuggets is not. He's left his post. Mikey McNuggets has left his post.
Outta here.
This is a first on the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show.
Probably went to go find our guest.
He's literally not there. Well, so now he's back.
Okay.
Everything okay back there?
Yeah, I'm texting with Chris Rose. He can see us, he just can't hear us. And I just tested a vMix link, so it's.
Well, he's getting the best of it, though.
At this point, can we reschedule him for another day? Does
That
that
is
make
what
sense?
that's what I'm talking about.
Or
right now.
I can write the questions on paper and hold them up, and then he can talk.
Sounds like that'd be entertaining for everyone. What a thrill. How are the numbers looking while he's holding up signs?
This is the top 5 most exciting things you'll ever see on a TV show.
What was the average time listening during that segment?
So that's a no. Then you're totally
That's
tearing my
out
idea
here.
apart.
Yeah,
It's a shame because I love Chris. I really was looking forward to getting him on.
We'll be back.
And
He will come back, don't worry. It is. There he is. Like, he's live. He could see us.
Oh, look at
look at Chris with the beard.
He just can't hear us.
Wow. And he's got the Rose jersey in the background.
Now he's frozen.
Oh, boy.
Now he's pixelated.
Yeah, but you know what? He's pixelated. You know what? I'm gonna go on the limb and say bad internet.
Hey, man, you got to get that dial up together.
Yeah, that's like those commercials that I can't remember what provider was doing them, where Gronk saw Brady talking about coming out of retirement, and you know the words were like he got half the words.
Man,
Bad internet deal.
See, y'all cats, back in the day, man, you know, they had us fooled. In the hood, they used to give us them little CDs and be like, $3,500 of internet access.
Yeah.
We got this old MS-DOS computer. We still flipping floppy disk over. We ain't had no modem or nothing.
Remember the
No dial-up?
No
AOL?
nothing. Yeah.
Oh, I hated that.
Your sister picks up the phone and disconnects the internet?
Oh, man.
No, Katie!
Man,
Hang up!
back in the day, it was
I had some fun in those chat rooms, though. I'll tell you
Oh,
that.
yeah. Oh, God.
I don't want to hit, but the way you said that, I don't want. Bull.
It took me a second.
Bull, we've gone places on today's show that I hope we never go again.
Jay, you were trying to get you know what in college, were you not?
I'm a
Everybody
gentleman, and I never talk about that
You
kind
know
of
what?
stuff.
I'm a gentleman too. Any woman that's ever been with me would tell you I'm a gentleman.
I believe you
without
are.
exception.
But I'm just saying, I'm
But
not saying
gonna
you're not
lie
a
that I
gentleman.
wasn't
But I just don't. I don't want to.
I shouldn't put it that way.
I don't want to air that in public.
If I'm really honest, I was really looking for a girlfriend, and nobody was. If I'm totally honest.
Yeah, let's just take step 1 before step 5.
And there weren't that many people interested.
When Bull told me he invented the Friends box, I lost my mind. He was like, the Friends
Well,
box.
I didn't invent it, but I was in it quite often.
Oh, the friend zone?
Nobody had
Oh,
more female friends in college college than me.
I said on one show the one place you don't want to live as a guy is the friend zone. And he's like, I've spent my whole life there.
I mean, every woman that worked at the college radio station would probably say, what male do you like most at the radio station?
Mm-hmm.
They'd all say me, but I wasn't getting any action from any of them.
Yeah. Which male would you like to have help you move the most?
Yes. Me.
Not make out with. Yeah.
All right, let's go to Mikey, who's back at his post now with an update.
So Chris is going to reschedule for next week. We will
Okay.
get those out. So we apologize to Chris for having our system not working. We're not sure where the issues were.
Man,
but
I hate that. Okay.
we still have a second advertiser that was supposed to be in this segment that we will not forget. That is PCC Airfoils.
Oh, they're
Anthony.
new friends.
So, G.
Yeah.
Bush, let's get some internet comments up for this segment as I tell you why
Airfoils.
PCC Airfoils are the best.
Yep.
Are you looking for a job with career advancement and great benefits? PCC Airfoils is a leading manufacturer in Northeast Ohio.
There you go.
All locations of PCC Airfoils in Eastlake, Menor, Wickliffe, and Minerva, I got it right this time, are hiring for all positions starting at $18 an hour and up, plus get benefit packages, paid time off, and a signing bonus. Apply online at precast.com/careers to learn more.
I mean, if you're looking for
Can
a
we
gig.
get a pronouncer for him?
Minerva.
I got it right this time.
He's the only guy that
Wycliffe,
hasn't
not
been in
Wycliffe.
Ohio for more than a couple of months.
Yeah, he's the only one that's a transplant.
When we're just speaking personally, whenever we are repairing and replacing parts on our airplanes, the only things we use
100%.
are PCC airfoils.
Yeah, they're our go-to.
Mike and I last week went in on an airplane.
Yep.
We own our own private jet.
And we were worried about we were worried about
we didn't
the
know where to
parts.
turn.
Yeah.
Wait till we found out about airfoils.
Then luckily we have PCC airfoils. We called them. They came and brought all the parts.
Yeah, and now
they
you're flying
fixed
again.
it. We're back in the sky. That's
Taking
how we got
turns.
here.
We'll be transporting drugs in no time.
That's how we got here. Yep.
So,
we
G.
landed
Bush,
at Burke.
what's the internet saying? And we're going to do final takes after.
Okay, first of all, chances is the thing. Apologize to me.
There are a couple people in there. He wanted to get that off. He said they do remember playing chances, and it was in high school. So
high school and college, I think it's big.
Tim Zoller says yes, I do believe that chances is a thing.
So I accept your apology.
Yeah, he still apologized. Justin Crawford said, lunch isn't at 4 anymore. So he used to go to lunch at 4. Obviously, he watches the show now, and he goes to lunch so he can watch us.
That's great. Keep watching, brother.
I like that.
Rearrange your life for us. Quit jobs. Leave your family.
You won't regret it.
Fry says time for a UCSS pillow fight. Now, I don't know if that means we should listen. Pillow fights.
Sounds like the least hot thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, and pillow fights.
Who would want to see that?
And pillow fights. If you get the wrong type pillow, that can hurt somebody. We get get violent.
What's up with Mike?
Yeah.
I mean, I might throw up in my mouth a little if we
I'd
do
much
that.
rather do an Impractical Jokers type of thing than a pillow fight.
I think we do.
Yeah,
I think
that'd
we
be
just
funny.
do it.
Let me give one more. There was one from when Jason. Dio. I don't know why. She said this is what I was doing in college: sex, alcohol, and sleeping.
right.
Shout out to Neo. That's
Not
what's
bad.
up, man.
That's what a lot of kids have done.
Yeah.
She must have went to Kent too.
Aim for the stars at Kent.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, do you
Still, my favorite comment of the day was him saying, Njoku does have a considerable amount of drops.
Yes. I was looking
You know
about
what? Well, here's the funny part. He was looking it up because what he was hoping he was going to say is,
Yeah.
dude had 4 drops last year.
I said,
The acknowledgement of it. He's like,
Yeah.
well,
You know what? At least you owned it.
Listen. If there's new information to come out, I own everything. I thought Johnny Manziel was good. I thought he was going to change it.
But Njoku dropping footballs isn't exactly new information.
Listen, you're right on that, man. Let's see. I don't know about that. You can see you have to edit some of these.
Hey, wait, while you're looking, I want to tell a quick story about yesterday's show. He read somebody that said, this one's from Mike 0512. Bro, you need a new sign name. That was Mikey McNugget's dad.
Yeah.
I had no idea. Really had no idea.
Get him together, man. Get him.
Mike, what's his first name? Jake? Was it Jake?
No, my dad's first name is Chris, but it was Lucas 05, like 1117 something.
Yeah, but he was just like,
Hey, you got to get a new screen name. Get him
come
together.
on, Mr. McNuggets.
All you got to do
help him out.
is Senior McNuggets. You can make him famous on Twitter. You can make him famous. Get Senior McNuggets together.
That's true.
He be that guy. Let me get 2 more.
Get 2 more, then we'll do final takes because we built 10 graphics for Bulls final takes.
Oh, well, then we got to do it. Maybe we just
do
do Bulls.
That's fine.
Just
we're
Bulls,
going,
yeah.
we're
We'll
going
just
to
do Bulls.
overtime.
Mick the dog says, I like Fry's idea. Have him do American Gladiator versus each other. So he wants them to do American Gladiators versus NFC versus AFC. Not
Oh, yeah.
regular
Oh, I
people.
see. Yeah.
And I'm like, well, somebody gonna fight.
Yeah, you hit me with that tennis ball thing.
Don't you
Tennis
want
ball
one of
man
those,
in
though?
that
thing, that was
Every
always the
time I
best.
watch that show, I'm like, do they sell those?
What was
I
the name
want
of
to
that?
play with that so
What was
bad.
the name of that massive woman? There was one woman who was just
Are we talking about
maybe?
lace or diamond?
I don't even. I
Diamond,
don't remember.
Mike, I'm getting
She was
concerned. You know a lot about
Diamond
this
looked
show.
like
I know.
I love that show too. I just don't remember
I think
the
it was
name.
Diamond. I think you're right.
Diamond looked like she smoked cigarettes too.
She did. Her voice.
Yeah,
her
Diamond.
voice was heavy
I'm
too.
like, ooh,
Yeah,
Diamond.
she had bourbon and Marlboro voice.
You're going down. There's always firefighters that were competing on that against the
Oh
American
yeah,
Gladiators.
firefighters. Were
Always
big in that world.
firefighters.
Yep.
man.
He's a firefighter from Mentor, Ohio.
And he's gonna take his fighting to the Gladiator and get pounded.
True.
He
We should
hasn't
tell Mike
experienced
that,
this
Mike,
kind of fire.
If the city is Mentor, it's Menor.
Menor.
Not
I covered
Mentor.
a Menor high school basketball game back in the day, believe it or
Chloe,
not.
shout out to the women in the chat. Chloe F says, Pro Bowl needs a home run derby equivalent. Maybe have kickers see how many 60-yard kicks they can hit in a row. And last but not least, my man, Smart Asses Official says, best
him.
Pro Bowl fix, seriously, is just to play the Madden game. I like Madden.
I'm not watching dudes. I'm not watching grown men play a video game.
Only 20-year-olds watch. And
I
teens
watch.
that.
Hey,
You
listen,
watch people play
they-
video
oh,
games?
yeah, all the time.
Oh my
all the
God.
time.
What is it? Twitch that they do? Is that,
Oh
is
yeah,
it?
Twitch is a big
I will
thing.
only
Awful.
watch J.R.
And
Smith.
Ninja,
I
so-
will only watch J.R. Smith because he doesn't care and he'll just say anything. I love
Oh, really?
watching him play video games. is
You've
pretty
watched
entertaining.
him play.
I have.
So
yeah.
Ninja's like, wasn't he used to be the dude?
Yeah.
In that Twitch world, and he was making like $1 million a month from people watching him play video games.
Oh no, there's whole kids.
That's crazy.
There's kids that are
Kids
15,
watch
16 that
There
play.
are kids that will watch people open presents on
Yeah.
YouTube.
Not into that.
That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard of in my life.
Yeah, not into it.
Oh, in America, the great thing, you can be anything. You can get money by doing anything.
Yeah,
Your
my mom, when I
generation-
was a kid, said, you know that you're never going to make a living playing asteroids in your bedroom.
Live.
Put
Just
an
a
end to
reminder,
that
my
real quick.
parents' generation is the generation of the pet rock.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So
I know.
we all did stupid things
The
at
Chia
some
pet.
point. Yeah, that kind of stuff.
Mike, I brought up the pet rock to some of my younger coworkers
Yeah.
on the 5 o'clock show, and they looked at me like I was nuts.
That's because it's a very stupid concept that
It
they're
is,
not
but they
familiar
had
with.
never heard of it.
We
Yeah,
had- we
right.
had-
That is weird.
We had Gigapets, Tamagotchi.
Yeah, you had to feed
We're
these things.
feeding digital pets.
Yeah, no.
So we weren't geniuses either.
Grown men playing video games is a turnoff.
Grown men playing video games is a turn off according to Brianna.
Oh,
I
don't
agree.
play video games.
Brianna, you see, you look like your boyfriend has had money on the line, and you're like, what are you doing playing the game?
It might be a personal experience, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's
There are
husband,
men who
not
can
boyfriend.
balance it.
She's married.
Yeah, she's married.
Oh, listen. Well, he definitely ain't got a video game then.
No, you know
She's
what?
X-Men.
Boyfriends play video games. Husbands retire at video games. Women aren't. They're not about that.
Look,
Yeah.
she just look.
Not putting up with that nonsense.
Yeah,
No
she
video
got-
games.
Yeah.
No video
When a
games.
black woman put that
Yeah,
finger up,
when you
I've
see
seen
this
it.
right here,
I'm
it's
cool.
a wrap.
We have to have a light ready above her to turn on whenever for a moment like that. Again, whenever
Exactly.
she's making a point. I'll set that up later.
Ain't no
Chorus
games.
of Angel sings. Final take, just bulls
Let's
today.
just do both today,
All right.
yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
let's go.
All right. That's it. Oh, you're doing it right now.
Let's go.
Let's
Let's roll.
We got problems. We got a million problems in this country, but I want to talk about the most pressing one to me right now, guys. Let's set that picture of my nephew up here. This is my actual nephew, okay?
Okay.
That's a
Good-looking
great looking
kid.
nephew.
He's a good-looking kid.
Look at that head of hair.
But look at the hair.
Yeah.
It's out of control.
No, it's not.
It is. It doesn't. There's pictures where it looks even worse. This is because I said to my mother, I said, "What is my nephew doing?"
Is this your brother's kid or your
My
sister?
sister's kid.
Okay.
I don't have a brother. This is my sister's kid.
Okay.
Good ball player. Best player on his team. Best pitcher. Best catcher.
Nice.
Good hitter. Hitting home runs. He's a great kid. Excellent kid.
Future Bryce
But his
Harper.
hair is out of control. I said to
love
my
it.
mother, what is he doing? If I say this to my sister, she's going to get mad at me. So I say it to my mother, get the kid get a freaking haircut. What is he
Your
doing
sister's
around
going to be mad at what you're doing
here? No,
right
she's
now.
not, because I made sure she was okay with me doing this.
Oh, okay.
I said Ian's going to find it funny, and I was right. He's excited that he's going to be on TV.
Okay.
His picture.
There's a larger thing here. You're not just blowing up your nephew just for
No,
no reason.
no.
Okay.
Look
Yeah,
at all these other people.
Okay, great.
Look at what is going on with American teenagers.
Oh my gosh.
We're out of control. This guy's got bad hair and bad facial hair. Look at this.
Look how mopey these
I
guys
mean,
are.
cut your hair for crying out
They're
loud.
also depressed
What is
from
happening?
the hair. Look how sad they are.
Yes, he looks like.
Why are they so sad?
They're awful.
Oh.
Look at this.
What a
They all
drag.
look like grunge rockers, don't they? Except for this guy.
At least that guy's
Blue
on
Dread,
the
his
face.
cousin.
These is the same dudes
Is that even a
Mikey
boy?
McNuggets is
I'm
going to be
not
sword
sure.
fighting with in Ohio
I don't
State.
know.
Yes, he was. No doubt.
Listen, this is a problem
You wanna go to
throughout
another
the.
bar?
It turned into an adventure that
Yes,
only
Bernie.
might-
Bernie's hair is out of control.
Right.
I am just. But you know,
good. We're seeing it again.
Just
all
ran
the
whole
kids.
thing.
I went to watch my nephew when I was in New Jersey a few weeks ago. I went to watch him play baseball, and all the kids on the team, their hair is like this.
That's what
this
the
is
kids
the new
do.
style. Now, listen.
Boy,
I
your
have
Little
no
League
style.
team had to have that.
I have no style. I will fully admit this. I don't know what's smart to wear. I don't know what's hip. I don't know what's in. I don't care.
You're not breaking any
But all
news
I know
to the
is
audience here, Bull.
if you look like you got a poodle on your head, it's time to cut your hair.
We had mullets. We had mullets when we
I
were
never
young.
had a mullet.
Well, you didn't, but the
Rat
generation
tails.
did.
Remember
didn't
when
they?
that was the
Rat
thing?
tails.
Rat tails.
That's a
Look
sign.
it up.
I'm
One
the
of the
curmudgeon
saddest
now
chapters
who's
in our
I
country.
get off my lawn as a 50-year-old.
You see a kid with that rat tail, you're like, oh, it's that kind of family.
Yeah, I got it. I know where you live.
See, this is a crazy thing. See, you can get that off, right? But say, for instance, like tomorrow, like there's certain hairdos that black people can't get off. Like you can have dreads, but you can't have cornrows.
Interesting.
Why can't you have cornrows?
You can't go to no interview with cornrows. I've never seen it. Look,
I've never seen it.
Have you, like Jay,
you say for a
Jay, no.
You say for a job interview.
Jay talking about, I'm here to read for the 6 o'clock news, and you got the straight back, the prison jail, the cornrows.
If I'm rocking Rose on the 5 o'clock news,
No.
I'm probably not coming back.
No.
You know what's the creepiest thing? A white guy with like dreads.
Oh,
Have you
no,
ever seen this?
That's
Oh
not.
yeah,
That is weird.
Inappropriate.
That is totally weird.
It is.
There was this guy, I'll never forget it. I don't know his name, I don't know anything. But when I was a teenager and we used to go to the park to play basketball, there was this dude, a white guy, who had like dreads down to his ass. Or maybe even further than that. I don't think he ever cut his hair. I don't think he ever
doesn't wash it either.
He can't wash
Could
it,
he
right?
hoop? Could he hoop at all?
Yeah, he was decent, but you always
Better
felt
be
like he
good.
was going to like kill somebody with his hair.
Yeah.
It was the most disgusting thing I'd ever seen in my life.
Hey man, he must have liked the culture.
Oh yeah.
Look at Jay. Jay just cut his dreads off.
Killed the rabbit.
Where's my wig?
Jay
Right
just
there.
got rid of
It's
his
over there,
dreads.
There it is.
So, Bull, you don't like my haircut as I'm a judge.
No, I like it better now. No,
Yeah.
the judge, it's out of control.
But you know what? If you look back on your Little League photos, there's
Yeah.
going to be guys there with the mops just
There's a couple. Yeah,
flowing out of the
there's
hat.
a picture of me when I'm like 8, where my hair's a little long.
Bad News Bears kind of bowl cut thing going on for a
I
while.
have a kid on my team. I got to bring in a picture of this kid. Who?
Show us more children's hairstyles on this show.
actually.
Please approve it with his parents
With
first.
this kid, it actually is cool, but it's not out of control. But every time I see this kid, he's a great kid. He's my pitcher tonight, and he's got like this bushy curly hair, but it's not a mop, but it's just like, and he reminds me of one of the kids from the Bad News Bears. The way he's kind of got that '70s look to him. The kid, great kid,
Good
who
vibe.
loves playing baseball, has so much fun, loves it.
Yeah. Well, they see, big leaguers have some crazy hair.
Yeah.
Bryce Harper, I mean, with that thing that's always falling in his face.
Yep.
I don't know if he still has that, but
So what we learned today, David Njoku, a lot of drops. Kids need to cut their damn hair.
Yeah, chances is a real thing.
And
Chances is a real thing.
Yes.
And Bernie Kosar is a good sport, and Mike Polk's very funny.
True, and the Pro Bowl blows.
Yeah, we got to get rid of that.
Pro Bowl blows. I think we learned a lot then.
I think we did.
Great insight from Jason, obviously, on
Jason's great.
the Brown stuff and LeBron stuff.
Sadly, though, our time together on this day has ended. But the good news is we'll be back tomorrow at 11 o'clock, and we're going to discuss OBJ versus Amari Cooper. So, obviously, different styles of receivers, but we're going to break down what the Browns might be able to accomplish with Cooper that they weren't able to accomplish with OBJ. Also,
By the way, are we ever going to play that Johnny Stanton piece that you have?
I swear
It's
it
a
is
running
in
gig
the
now.
rundown
It's a
tomorrow
running bit
because he's
now.
playing Dungeons and Dragons tonight.
Oh, really?
With Myles Garrett, which KYC's shooting. for
I
us,
want to play Dungeons and Dragons with them.
Perfect.
Those
So Johnny
beautiful
Stanton will
nerds.
be in the show tomorrow, I promise.
Okay.
Love what a nerd
Isn't
Myles
it cool
Garrett
that
is.
Myles Garrett is kind of a nerd?
love that he's a
Isn't
nerd.
that the best?
Yep.
Love it.
And nerds must love it too. Like imagine being a Dungeons and Dragons guy and be like, we got that guy on
you
our
can't
team.
make fun of me.
Exactly.
Myles Garrett plays.
Myles Garrett's doing it. Look at him.
Now it's cool if Myles Garrett does.
I'm still going to make fun of it.
Yeah, you're allowed.
I've never
Hey,
played.
you guys did just make fun of video games like 3 minutes ago. Just throwing it out there.
Yeah,
No,
true.
I made fun
not
of
make
people
fun.
watching other people playing video games.
Yeah.
That I'm making fun
Next
of.
that is-
I don't care if you play
I'll
video
never
video
get
games
that.
is not my
Although
thing,
I will
but
say,
I don't care if you play
my
it.
son made me watch Ninja play what was the big game a couple of years ago? Fortnite.
Yeah.
And I was trying to play Fortnite, and it's super, super hard. There's so much going on.
Yeah.
And my son said, watch this cat play. This is on Twitch. This guy's Ninja, and he makes like a couple million a month because people pay to watch him play. It's
amazing.
And I watched it, and I'm like, that's not the game I'm playing.
Yeah.
I mean, he was doing things.
Ninja was very good, and you were impressed by him.
I just don't understand why you'd want to watch somebody else play
Well,
a
when
video
someone's
game. It's
doing
just-
it at such an incredibly high level,
guess,
I will say I was wildly impressed.
Yeah.
And after like 5 minutes, I'm like, okay, I've had
You don't
enough for
ever
the
wanna
rest of
watch
my
it
life.
again.
I've filled my quota.
Would you rather watch that or watch poker?
I'm not a poker player, and I don't particularly enjoy watching guys play it. So
Yeah, there's lots of people who make a living watching things.
I understand. I just don't get it.
Yeah.
Just because I should give
Different
it
world.
a chance. I should give it a chance.
you give it a shot. We're out of time. We're back tomorrow. We told you what we're going to have on the show. Have a great Thursday. We'll see you tomorrow when we wrap up the week. Our third week on the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show.
Still standing.
Still standing. Woo! Haven't been canceled yet, but I don't know if you can cancel
You
the
can't
YouTube
cancel
show.
me off the internet.
Don't give them ideas.